my God.
What's that?
It's January.
I know, but I have a question for you before we get started.
Really?
Is there an anime character stronger than Madara Uchiha? And I'm referring to Rinen Tensei Madara Uchiha with the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and Rinnegan Dujutsus with the Rikido Paths ability equipped with Gunbai, control of the Jubi, and Gedo Mazo, a complete Susanoo, with Hashirama Senju's DNA implanted into his chest so he can perform Mokoton Kekai Genkai and Yin Yang release ninjutsu, as well as being extremely skilled in Taijutsu and Bunkjutsu. Did you get a word of that?
I feel...
Because I got all of that, and I hate myself now.
Not a word.
Not a word.
Not a word.
Not a single word.
Power, I understand.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
But that's like every anime.
So, yes. Hi, welcome. I just wanted to start with that copy pasta.
And that's how you open our...
Trust me, I could have done the longer version, and the longer version goes into, if I keep going down, like, for example... I'm definitely not talking about Sage. It just goes on. Casting Super Tengen Toppa, Gurren Lagann as a Susanoo, controlling the Gold Experium Requiem stand, having become the original vampire after Alucard, able to tap into the Speed Force, wearing the Kamen Rider Black RX and Gedo Mazo, and it's just basically someone making the most brutally overpowered character ever. And it ends with Kryptonian DNA implanted in him and having eaten Popeye's spinach while possessing the quantum powers of Dr. Manhattan and having mastered Hokuto Shinken.
That's a very strong character.
It is, because I read Naruto, and the villain for that is just like the most beast mode trying to be the most powerful thing ever. So,
and did he succeed?
No. Okay, but more importantly,
you got to half seize the screen, man.
There we go. We'll half seize the screen. I mean, I could get a dual monitor set up, but if I try to do dual monitor with my laptop and my TV, it freaks out.
Why?
I don't know. Like, the colors all mess up. Like, you can't see. It looks like vaporwave art.
Wouldn't you like that, though?
I would, but I'd like to also be able to see it.
Well, so it's been...
A year.
A day before a year.
A day before a year, okay.
Yes, it's been whatever, since we started a podcast.
Yes.
It's been a long journey.
Did not feel like that. Feels like it's a lot sooner.
It feels around around the right time.
I don't know, for how long 2018 felt? That didn't feel like a full year.
Okay, so you know that meme?
What meme?
Compilation video? And it's like these memes.
The meme we rewind?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, that was from this year?
Some of them some of them aren't from this year.
Okay.
But they gained popularity this year. Okay. That's a difference. Because, for instance, J.K. Rowling's thing about wizards pooping their pants.
I don't want to bring this up.
No, we will. We can't not. That's been around for years.
Oh, it has?
Oh, God, yeah. I remember reading that like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay, so then Nina was right.
But that was like a deep, dark fact that was like deep down into Pottermore's like dirty trenches. Dirty, poop-filled trenches, because the poop's got to go somewhere. They can't just remove matter from existence. It's got to go somewhere. So somewhere, some wizard's basement is full of every single wizard's poop from the ages when they would... For those of you who don't know, apparently back in the day, wizards didn't poop. Oh, no, they did. But then they just cast Vanish Me Poopum. And it would go away. So that fact has been known for a long time. And I remember reading about it on like, top 25 things you didn't know about Harry Potter. Number 5, wizards pooped themselves. I remember reading it there and being like, but then just the Pottermore account did it as like a fact of the day thing. And then people who didn't know got wind of it and were like, wait a second, what? And then people started examining it saying like, well, there's problems with that because you're saying that since magic was invented in this year and toilets were invented in this year, toilets were invented before magic. So wizards just looked at toilets and said, no, I'm not going to use you because I'm above you. So it's great.
Oh, I hate it.
But yes, as we were saying, there's been a lot of things that have been around before 2018, but just became popular then.
I suppose.
Yes.
But yeah, going back to the podcast, I listened to the very first episode, a bit of it. And it was like...
You're a stronger man than me.
It was definitely more a Tanner featuring Adrian podcast.
Fair enough.
Back then, because like I didn't know how to like
Speak.
but now like I go now, it's like a lot better.
I mean, hey, doing YouTube videos is what got me to shirk off my shy, cloak and kind of open up. So
I don't think it was a matter of being shy. It was a matter of knowing what to say and how to say it.
Fair enough.
Because like I remember when we used to do the I don't even remember what it's called.
What are you referring to?
The main segment in Sherbert Land that we did.
Oh well, just the main. Yeah, I don't think it had a name. I think we just the main segment.
I talked about something.
Okay.
To you, and you talked to me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And like I was terrible at like describing stuff. I still am, but like
You're getting there.
I'm getting there.
You're getting
eventually. What about you? Anything to reflect on?
I've learned to. I mean, this is something for me, but it's definitely helped me to try and when I'm on a group thing, to kind of not always be the one speaking. I'm either the one who's always speaking or the one who's dead silent. So finding that balance, it's definitely helped me there with like even other videos I'm doing with other people to not just...
Okay.
Because, I mean, my videos are just me rambling to myself. So I'm used to just speaking and not letting...
So that's why you were so like prominent
at
the beginning, right?
That's my videos.
Yeah.
It's just word vomit, as I call it. And that's what it is. People can try and defend my... Like, I mean, I won't even defend it. My videos are just word vomit. It's me pointing at things and saying their names, right?
Pretty much. Or being like, oh, that's cool. That's
right?
really neat.
That's about it. Because that's what it is. That's what a solo type of thing has to be.
More interesting than just silence, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like your Word of Light videos I've been watching. It's just like when like a spirit comes up, you're like, oh yeah, that's cool.
What can I say?
I'm not saying it's bad.
No,
I'm
no,
just
yeah.
saying it's like it's funny. So look into the future.
To the future
of the podcast.
A vision. I did my down B with show.
I don't know if we're approaching the end of foreign exchange because I'm running out of things to give you.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
I am.
Are you serious?
PS4 games are definitely...
Well, they don't have to be PS4, dude. I have every console.
I know, but like all my Nintendo games are Japanese.
What doesn't matter? It could be stuff that I haven't played.
I suppose.
I think we should evolve it towards just anything that the other person hasn't experienced. Okay. I mean, we still have the underlying idea of East versus West, but it could just be anything from now on of things that we've never played.
Okay. We'll get there when we cross that bridge.
We'll cross that bridge. I mean, I definitely have lots of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But we also, like, we haven't done TV shows very much. I mean, aside from I've done it for you a couple times.
It's a bigger investment, though.
There are ways of watching it for low cost of nothing.
I'm not investment in money, investment in time.
Well, I know, but that's why we say, like, usually, because I said 3 episodes usually, but it does depend on, like, for example, with the one I gave you now, it was a short amount of time for the first act, if you will, where it's not even a full season, right? So,
other than that, we're glad that you're listening.
Yes.
We've amassed a few regulars.
Yeah, and that's
which we
nice.
really appreciate.
Yeah.
So we hopefully will continue to grow in the future.
Indeed.
All right.
Let's go into our weeks, which for me, I have a lot, actually, because it's been my vacation. And so I've been able to just...
Normie stuff first. We're always remember.
Yeah, right. Normie stuff first. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, this has been, about a 2-week period where I've had not much to do. And that is real nice. But then I realized at the end, boy, better actually get done some stuff for work. So I did that this morning. But, for the most part, it's been pretty chill. And I was able to take a look at a lot of different things. But for the most part, Normie stuff. Went out to the family lake. We went out and had some... So it was not bad. Went onto a hot tub in the snow outside.
Those are nice.
And it was like -20 out. And there we are in the hot tub. And I was like, this is going to suck. But it was actually quite nice. We even had a TV out there with the hockey game playing. Don't care about hockey, but it was kind of cool to watch out there with that. No, it was a fine experience. My family still is very... They look at me as like, whoa, look at this weirdo. He likes technology and pop culture, and he doesn't shoot guns or ride quads. What's up with that?
What is this mobile device?
Yeah, it's a little rough at times, but thankfully, you know, they finally understood that I'm not them, and at least are accepting that I'm not gonna be them. Like, when they say, like, come on, let's go do this, and I'm like, no, they're not like, no, you just don't know because you never tried. They're like, okay. You know, because
definitely.
They're kind of starting to accept that I'm not them. There's still a bit of push and pull, but yeah, whatever.
Oh, well.
And my actual main, like, extended family Christmas party is next weekend, because that's the Ukrainian Christmas party, so.
Okay.
It's going to be
cool.
Gonna be a fun time with that.
For normie stuff for you?
Pretty much.
Okay. Normie stuff for me, just been working a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Making a lot of money.
I'm sure over this Christmas break for the deliveries and stuff.
There's been a lot of, I delivered to this, like, drunk party.
That was fun.
Like, you just stood there for a bit because the other guy couldn't find his wallet, and he's like, well, this is awkward. Not really for me, because I'm used to standing in silence while people pay, so.
Right.
That type of thing. Yeah, school starts tomorrow for me.
Oh, man, right. New semester?
It's new semester.
Gonna meet a whole bunch of new people and...
Yeah, speaking of school, I got my marks back finally.
Yeah, and I heard...
Got a good old B in comm theory.
B is really good.
And
there's some people who are like, a B, and I'm like, what are you talking about? A B is awesome.
Yeah, like, I strive for A's, and I did get, like, mostly A's this semester. But with the B in comm theory, it's like, I just wanted to pass that class.
Yeah.
And I passed it well. I went from, like, I told you 62, but it was actually 67. 67 to 75.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's pretty good. So I bet that essay I did on The Walking Dead was pretty well.
Again, you put your heart and soul into stuff you like, so, like, that always helps.
I wish I got the marks back for it. It was just the final mark I got. So.
I know, a couple times I had teachers say, like, hey, come up and pick up your marks. They told me over the break, so.
Huh.
I don't know.
But yeah, next semester starting tomorrow. Don't know what to expect yet. I just know that one of the professors in the film studies class is not very good.
Oh.
To a fact where there needs to be a second professor there.
Well, no, some of them get second professors because it is a split workload class between professors.
I've never had like a 2-professor class.
Oh, I've had an 8-professor class before.
What?
Yes, I've had an 8-professor class where every week one person would be the presenter.
Jeez.
And they would rotate. But then again, that class had about 400 students.
Oh wow!
In a huge lecture hall. So like that was For that it makes more sense to split it up there.
Yeah.
Film studies. I took film studies from junior high up till high school, and it's some of my favorite stuff. It's so fun. So is it like film study as in like studying of film, like techniques? Like, are you gonna be watching movies? Do you know?
Oh, for sure, probably.
Okay, yeah, that's some of it's so fun. I love those classes. Well, okay, I lie. I loved it, and then I took advanced film theory.
Ooh.
Then I hated it.
You put the theory into anything, it's like the worst thing
because I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be more like what I did in like Film 100 was awesome. Watching these movies, talking about them, it was great. And then I went to this one, and it's like, okay, all we're watching is like Soviet era 4-hour silent propaganda films.
Oh no!
And they're like, this technique of using the same repeated shots over and over for an extended period of time, and I'm like, oh my god, this sucks. And then it was one of those.
Why would you even use that kind of technique
because
nowadays?
it's not nowadays. That's the thing. Film theory doesn't mean it's used nowadays. It means it was used.
Oh, okay.
And so it was so bad. I got the midterm back, and it was a 32%.
Yikes! And
then the teacher's like, drop out, and I'm like, yep, okay, bye, because it was, and plus I was like, I can take something else to fill in this slot for my graduation. So I'm like, yep, nope, that's fine. That's a better move.
Cool.
So, but no, film theory classes are so much fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one the most. The other one is online communications.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think I'm going to be pretty proficient in because, like, you know, the kind of journalism I want to do is obviously going to be more focused on online stuff, so.
Yep.
And then intermediate news reporting. Oh, yeah. So that's basically all I've been doing.
Sounds good.
For normie stuff.
Normie stuff. Now we're going into the cool stuff.
Yeah.
Put on our sunglasses. Anyways, you're listed first, so you start.
And I have the least amount of stuff.
Yes.
So I've been playing more Smash, obviously.
Yeah.
Discovering new ways to play still.
Okay.
160 hours in. I'm liking, I started playing with random stages on.
Oh, yeah.
Because like when I look at the stage selection,
It's
like,
tough.
I want to play on all of them.
Yeah.
So I was like, just let the game
That's what I
decide
like
for
to
me.
do. I mean, that's what I've always kind of done, is just hit that rando button.
Yeah. Other than that,
Does random cycle in the Battlefield and Omega versions?
No.
Okay.
It's just the regular
Okay,
versions.
fair enough.
Because then there's...
I guess then you can do Omega random by pressing Omega on the random stage
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, okay.
Then a big building up my spirits, getting all the ones I haven't gotten yet. Been starting to buy them because like
Well, you're gonna have to at a point.
I think I've done all the spirit board battles.
No, I think there's one for everyone.
Like every time I go in there, it's just like the ones I already have.
I mean, statistically, it's just because you're looking for like 12 out of about 1,000. So
I suppose.
yeah, it's just, statistically it's super low. It's as rare as getting a shiny Pokemon of getting it at that point.
That's right. It's exciting, like being like, oh, there's one I haven't gotten yet.
Yeah.
There's the classics mode, the classics event spirit thing going on.
Well, there's no exclusive ones for that.
No,
thankfully.
it's just like
it's just kind of
really old ones.
Yeah.
Did you do the Donkey Kong and Lady Spirit battle?
no, because I'm waiting to do all the spirits through World of Light that I
okay.
can and not be spoiled by them.
That's fair.
And then after that, I'll go and do some.
So that's
more
what
of
I'm
that.
doing.
Yeah.
Other
Just
than
about done World of Light.
just about done.
Just about done, I feel. I mean, just to say where I am, I'm right where the end of, the quiz kind of dimension.
Yes.
So I'm right at the end of that.
Did you do the other two areas already?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm right close, right? Oh, God.
No.
Oh, no. Are you serious?
Yeah, there's an entire other area.
Oh, my. No way. No way. That mode
But
is
it's
so
super
big.
hype.
Okay,
It's like super
okay.
like final.
Fair enough. I've not fought the boss there. I think it's who I think it is.
Yeah.
Because there's one boss remaining. Aside from the final boss, who I kind of
If
know.
you can like
but...
piece together what the area is and like who the character, the chaos and all that kind of
Okay,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but other than that, Smash.
Smash the Smash.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about it later.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah. Then I've been playing Super Mario Party. Or I played once with friends. We had just like a little friendly get together.
Yeah.
We played Mario Party, played Smash. But like, I just want to bring up one of my friends. They were playing together since we had 5 people, so they just paired up.
Yeah.
And they were in last place for 90% of the match. And then all of a sudden, they just got luck after luck and then won it at the end.
I mean, that's
it's
Mario Party.
It is, but it's just like how quick it flipped it on its head.
That's Mario Party.
But it was fun. And then yesterday, I finally finished Spyro Reignited Trilogy.
Oh, you finished it.
Yeah, all 3 games. You say that you didn't like the friends in the third one?
No.
I think they're pretty fun.
Well, I think their controls were improved for the remake.
Probably.
Yeah.
Agent 9's the Space Monkey. His sections were really fun. I don't remember him at
His
all.
sections were first person in the original.
Only first person?
Yes.
Oh, because like in Reignited, there's like third person, first person.
No, they were only first person.
Rail shooter.
And they weren't good.
There's only one.
I could actually be wrong.
There's only one first person section.
No, he had more than for sure.
Yeah.
And they were just they weren't very good.
But then in the Reignited, they're a lot. They're
Yeah,
really
well, because
fun.
they can go back and say like, hey, let's actually. Because remember back in the day, the PS1 controller,
Yeah.
they didn't know how to do twin sticks because that wasn't a thing that was commonly known yet. Now it's like they know, and now it's mandatory to have twin sticks. Because back then you didn't have to. You could have used one of the ones without sticks. So they had to make it so that you could play it without the sticks. And as such, for first person stuff, that's bad.
It is. Oh, I forgot. I still have to do a few more things. I have to do the Sparks levels, which are basically top-down shooters.
Okay.
And then there's like like in Spyro 2, there's the final power-up you unlock by completing everything.
Yes.
Again, there's the same thing in that in Spyro 3, but I have no idea what it is.
Oh, I do.
So
And it's awesome.
don't spoil it.
I won't. You'll like it, though.
Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Altogether, they have like a time counter for how much time you put into the entire trilogy.
Yep.
I have about 24 hours in.
That's good.
So
That's fair, I'd say.
I'm glad I got it done before I started school again. So now I can focus on
On other video games, of
yes,
course.
I want to get done Pokemon Let's Go.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Then finally take on the behemoth Red Dead again.
Okay.
And I like how your interest just kind of.
Speaking of behemoths,
Oh,
I've been playing some more Monster Hunter World.
after a little
A little hiatus from it, but the announcement of Iceborne made me go, oh,
our
interesting.
discussion about it last time.
So I went into it, and I said to myself, okay, I'm going to play some more. I'm going to, and one thing that actually got me to go in was they had the new Assassin's Creed event, which came out of literal nowhere. The announcement trailers came after it was in the game. Like, wait, what? So like people were just turning it up, and there'll be a mission that says like beat this and get some cool new gear, and then like you get it and you literally become Bayek from Origins.
Okay,
not
that's
the
cool.
new character, but Bayek. But one cool thing is, and you might want to hop in and get this. Well, it might be too early for you, but anyways, you actually get a new mantle by beating it.
Oh,
So like one of the not equipable items, but one of the kind of power-uppy items, you get the Assassin's Mantle, which is literally you put on the cloak
Yeah,
from
I've
Assassin's
seen
Creed. And the cool thing is what it does is if you go into hiding, your next attack will do 150% more damage.
wow.
So, you know what, I use that with the heavy bowgun, with the sniping ability, and I went into hiding in the bushes, sniped a Devil Joe, or no, it was Kushala Daora, one of the Elder Dragons.
Okay.
Sniped him, and you just see like, because every time it hits, like the way the sniper works is not only does it every hit deal damage, but then it plants bombs in every hit that you do, and then those explode for damage. So I just see like 100 going through it, and then I see them explode, and a bunch of 250s appear, and I'm like, oh baby.
Jeez.
So that was really cool. I did get the Bayek, and it's a layered armor, so that means it's just an aesthetic thing. It's not actually like an armor set, doesn't have stats.
Okay.
And it's a full set, and once you put it on, you get of the voice and everything too, which is kind of cool. Can't mix and match like some of them, but there's some cool stuff there. And there was just a few other event quests, but I did try every new monster that was added in an update.
Okay.
So Lunala or Lunastra.
Lunala.
No, not Lunala. Lunastra is the blue queen counterpart to Teostra. Not bad. A little rough, not bad. Kind of just a variant.
Did you do that dragon? Not the dragon. The golden.
Just wait, I'll get to that.
Okay.
So that was not bad. I then did Cool Vteroth, which is the gold one. Now, mind you, they've actually retired the original Cool Vteroth.
How come?
Well, it's because they made a better version,
okay.
the Arc-Tempered version, which has more attacks and stuff and is a bit more of an active battle. The original one was almost an escort mission with like just grinding on it. So that one is interesting. Because the way it works is you're doing a 16-person hunt with it.
Really?
But what it is you're in a 4-person party.
And there's 3 groups.
And all but 4 groups.
4 groups, sorry.
All those groups, like the damage that... So, for example, if someone in another game instance breaks its, one of its scales off, it will break off for everyone's game.
Oh, they don't appear.
No. And it has a massive HP pool that gets reduced when everyone attacks it. So so everyone will but for example, say like another team beats it while you're just getting started, it will just start with very low HP and then you'll still have to beat it.
Okay.
The overall goal is not to kill it, but actually chip off its horns. Because it is an elder dragon pretty much. And there's some wacky shenanigans there because it is, imagine a big Jagras who can roll at you, and the roll is so long, and because it's huge, that like you can barely avoid. And if it hits you once, you're dead pretty much.
Jeez.
But then as you go on, it gets more attacks, and one of them is just literally it makes the floor lava. So you gotta run. There's some shenanigans with it. I did beat it a couple times. I got some relic weapons, which are basically randomized weapons for how good they are.
Yeah.
They all look the same. They're like just a cool gold version of a weapon, like pure gold, minus like some parts which are like rainbow looking. So it is kind of cool that they made kind of like the relic system, bring it back. But for the most part, I beat it and I'm like, that's fun, but I can see how grinding it could get annoying. And then I decided to try and beat the behemoth. I cannot beat the behemoth. I've played
the
behemoth from Final Fantasy. So, number one. One thing that kind of sucks but kind of rocks is if you are at the story quest for the behemoth, which is you have to beat it, like in the story, the main overworld theme for Astera becomes the Final Fantasy Overture.
That's cool.
So when you're there, it's now the Final Fantasy Overture, which was really cool when it first happened because you're going around and da 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 da, and you're just like, oh, it's so hype. And then by about the 70th attempt to beat him, I'm like, nah, it's not as hype anymore. I want to get rid of this music. He is without a doubt the strongest monster in the game.
Really?
Okay, he's not too bad, but he has things that gets you killed for stupid reasons. Number one, he plays like an MMO. So as in, it will literally show what character who is being targeted. Well, there will be a line from his eyes to you saying you are now targeted by the behemoth. And when you're playing for the first time, the characters are like, hey, you're targeted by the behemoth, run away while your party members fight it. People don't get that. They run up and they try killing it. Number two, he does Final Fantasy magic. So he'll just stop in the middle of battle. He'll do Cloud's taunt with the
yeah.
That's him casting magic. He'll do that. And he'll say, Behemoth is casting one of the spells, right? And so some of the spells are, one of them is called Chartabris, and it is basically tornadoes spawn around the arena and chase you. That sucks. One of them is, he slams into the ground and lava pillars come up from beneath you. That can hit almost anywhere, including if you are not even near the arena and at the base camp. That sucks. He can cast little small meteors and comets, which are big rocks that fall from the sky and hit you. But here's the thing. When a comet falls, it stays in the ground. It'll stay there. And what happens is, once you do either a certain amount of damage, or if he's at 0 HP, he does this. He does the thing called the Ecliptic Meteor. And the Ecliptic Meteor, because in Final Fantasy games, whenever you kill a behemoth, they end the battle by casting Meteor. So when they die, they cast Meteor. It can kill you. It's a powerful spell. So he's doing this Meteor attack that is a one-hit kill no matter what you do. You have to hide behind the comets that are left there. Do you think people know to hide behind the comets?
Nope.
They don't. Or, my first attempt was the furthest I got. I got him down to 0 HP.
What?
Because he casts Meteor as his death attack, right? So he casts the Ecliptic Meteor. The comet... So you fight him where you fight Nergigante at the very end of the Elder's Recess. So the comet is way at the other end of the arena, and he's casting Ecliptic Meteor. We're all running there, and I am a single step away from being in the safe zone from it. And I die, and that's the last one, and we lose. And I was so mad. He is tough.
Jeez.
Now, the cool thing is, you can actually use certain, you can go in, use the Palarang, which is a thing that steals monster parts. You can basically farm him that way to get all of his armor and not actually have to beat him. Because you can get all the parts from just stealing from him and breaking him in the next thing, the quest. But, he's a pain. Now, the cool thing is, I did get a Moogle.
Oh, nice.
So, it's just a costume for your cat. And he just flies around as a Moogle and makes Moogle sounds, and that's really cool.
That's cool.
But no, I've been really enjoying that. Looking forward to Iceborne. I really, really hope I can beat Behemoth, though, because I want that music to stop.
It doesn't stop until you beat him? It
doesn't stop until you beat him.
That's frustrating.
Now, they do give you, you have to do a easy mode version of him to, a low rank version, if you will, to actually like get into the quest. So people should know how to beat him, but people don't, and he's tough.
It sounds like you're more frustrated at the other players than
I am a bit, because I'll literally pop into a game that's like, it says like, these players have been fighting for 3 minutes, and I'll get there and I'm like, oh cool, and it will say, and I will fall into the match and it will say 2 continues remaining. And then I'll be running there and it's like 1 continue remaining, and I'm like, I hate this so much. That's about it for Monster Hunter.
You've brought up frustration, and it reminded me of something I had to go through with Spyro yesterday.
Oh yeah. I remember seeing your tweet or something about this.
The skateboard section in Lost Fleet in Year of the Dragon is the worst thing ever. I spent half an hour on it, and it's like...
Half an hour, really, only? Sorry, but when I hear frustrations, Behemoth took me days, and I still haven't done it.
This should have been like a 5-minute thing.
Yeah.
But like the mechanics of the skateboard, like I'm doing flips, but then when I make sure to land,
yeah,
he just like, it just doesn't line up, you know? And then like sometimes I'm like, I go off a jump, and then all of a sudden the skateboard just decides to go off a cliff.
Okay.
And then there's a part where you have to keep jumping over like slime pits.
Yeah.
And like the way the skateboard jumps, it doesn't jump like the safe spots aren't placed like the ways like when you jump skateboard wise, if you know what I mean.
Okay, yeah, I think I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, like if I jump, I'm not going to hit the safe. It's
Oh,
going to
okay,
hit the slime.
I see. Okay.
But sometimes when I like almost make it, it goes into the animation where he goes up in the air, and you can do a spin. Like, I don't know what it's called when you like go off a ramp in the air on a skateboard and you spin.
I don't know.
It's like a pipe.
Yeah. Well, the half pipe,
and
you
pipe.
Jump up, and then you do a trick. That's just half.
It goes into that animation, and then like you're dead because you just fall into the slime.
Oh, huh. That sounds pretty rough.
And like there's boosts and all that, and the boosts were so random. It's like I just got boosts out of nowhere, and I'm like, wow, it sounds like it doesn't screw you up, but it does, because like you have to go off jumps to hit certain areas, and it's like I don't have the boost. I'm like, oh wait, shit, I have the boost, and it's like I hate it. One time I did like 2 flips, which would net me like maybe a little bit of meter, but it just filled out my whole meter all of a sudden. I'm like, okay,
take it.
Yeah,
take it.
That's the one I won on, actually.
Okay,
so thank God. But like that's like the worst thing in the whole trilogy I had to go through. And I saw Hunter kiss a rabbit. So
nice, hot, dope. All right.
Okay, back to you.
The other game that I've been playing a bit of is Dragon Quest Builders.
Minecraft 2.
No. Okay, you're not wrong. It's better Minecraft. And I'll tell you why. There's a couple things. Number 1, the world isn't random.
Okay.
I mean, at least where I'm at. I think once you get to a certain point, you get to like the randomized world. But where I'm at now, it is a set world. And more importantly, there are clear objectives. There's NPCs. You talk to them and they say, hi, can you build me this? Here's where you can get the stuff. Okay.
That's cool.
There's bosses. There's a story.
There's a story in Minecraft too. It's just really...
No, well, I mean, there's an actual story where basically the game starts with a 3D recreation of the end of Dragon Quest 1, the original.
Okay.
And it basically, it works through like the same sort of story, but then at the end, when the villain is like, don't kill me, join me, and then you just see ... he's like, wait, really? You agreed? Okay. And so it's kind of a thing of what if the hero of Dragon Quest agreed to join the villain at the end?
Okay.
And now you have to rebuild the world.
Oh, okay.
So like there's a story there. There's
cool.
an idea that's really interesting. And I'm not even into Dragon Quest. I mean, I've been slowly getting games, and I actually own Dragon Quest 1 on the NES. I found it at a garage sale. That's crazy.
How's the gameplay?
So it's all third person, and it has a few things that are just would make Minecraft so easy. For one, you can attack blocks above and below you. Like, you can go 1 pixel up and 1 pixel down, which is really nice for building stuff. It's like you just hold a button and you instantly go, I'm not placing it forward, I'm placing it up. there's
Wait, so you can like place it up on air?
Not on air. It has to be built on something. But like if you're building something, you can just go duck, 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 like up and down, right? There's like it just.
Oh, does it automatically?
Not automatically. You do it manually, but it's just like there's buttons to do it, which makes it nice and fast.
Okay.
There's Zelda like special moves you get for combat. And it has way more personality than Minecraft, and that's why I'm enjoying it. I mean, the comparisons are there, but like for example, you can't build everything because you don't have the right table. For example, you have to get certain, like you can't make food on a work table. You have to build it on a cooking table. And where does the cooking table go? Well, one of the big things is you're making a fort, and that fort is your home base. And it will actually say like, okay, if you make a room with there is, cooking stuff in it, it's a kitchen. If you then upgrade the kitchen, it will say it's a nice kitchen. Like they have set roles for the rooms.
Okay.
And then the NPCs who come and join your fort will automatically go about their daily lives making stuff for you. Like, you'll just come back into the workshop and there'll be like a bunch of doors, a bunch of stairs, a bunch of ladders made for you by the NPCs.
That's cool.
Because they're just, as you're playing, they're going about building supplies for you.
That's pretty
So
neat.
it's a really neat system with sort of building up the world, and I'm really enjoying it.
That's on PS4?
On Switch, actually. I'm playing it on Switch there.
Cool.
Because, of course, it was on Switch.
How's it run?
That'd be perfectly. No problems there. The only problem I'd say is the fact that so if you build, like, because it is third person, if you build a house, you actually, like, it doesn't automatically make it so that, like, you can see into the house. Like, if you put a roof over it. Okay, so imagine third person Minecraft, and you go into a building and the camera stays out of the building.
Oh.
It doesn't clip in.
Why?
I don't know. But if you then there's a camera distance button. If you press it, you will go into kind of a first person view, but it's like if you're inside a house, it is a little bit difficult to look around at stuff. That's the only problem I've had with it. Apparently the sequel, which is coming out in Japan right away and will be coming out here pretty soon, on Switch as well, which is going to be cool. And it's going to be like save data transfer stuff.
That's cool.
If you, like, they're just adding a straight up first person mode, which makes it so, like, it looks like Minecraft with your hand out there even, kind of, right? Which will just make it easier for building those houses and going into them.
Cool.
But, no, it's just better Minecraft from what I played, and I'm enjoying it. A little frustrating at times because they, like, for example, at one point, you're supposed to try and because the world is pre-built, there's, like, pre-built, like, special places. Like, there's a huge pyramid where people are worshiping these demon statues in, and your mission is to go in and steal the statues, right? And so I look, and I'm like, oh, how do I get in this pyramid? I'm looking around, looking everywhere, and I see a hole in the entrance, right? I'm like, okay, I'll just hop on in. Jump on in, and the fall damage kills me. And you see all your stuff fly out of you, and you're like, oh, that sucks. And then I'm like trying to find the way in, and it was just because I couldn't see it because like there was like a 1-block entrance behind a wall that you have to like go sideways in, and I'm like, oh, that sucks. But no, it's just Minecraft with better progression and story and music and characters and everything. So that's why I'm enjoying it.
Minecraft with a purpose.
Yes.
Okay.
It's what Minecraft story mode should have been. Not a Telltale game, but one with a literal, it's the same gameplay, but with a purpose and story and stuff. Cool. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. A few other things that I did, because I had, again, a bit of a week. I got the PlayStation Classic, have successfully hacked it now. I got my powered USB hub. I got my 256 gigabyte USB stick, filled it up with games. It can now run games off of it. Some of them are a little testy with stuff. Like, I got Lego Racers on it, and Lego Racers refuses to save. But for the most part, like, I put on Chocobo's Dungeon. Saves fine, plays fine, works well. Awesome.
That's cool.
The only thing is it takes a long time to load up. Because I think it's because it's so big, it's trying to find as much as it can. But it's cool.
I really like the look of, like, the...
No,
they nailed it.
Yeah, no, I mean...
They just didn't nail the internals.
Yeah, and definitely you can tell, like, when it's, like, when the Super Nintendo Classic is loading in, like, fan game stuff and, like, all that, No problems. Loads it instantly, just like it's an official thing already on it. This one, you feel at times. It's like, I'm trying, and it's like barely able to.
You did make me play Persona.
I did make you play Persona 1.
What a terrible...
Well, okay, the North American Persona 1.
Terrible's a bit hyperbole. It was cursed.
Yes, it's incredibly cursed.
Like, the music, the graphics...
So, I don't know if you know, but that's what Shin Megami Tensei is closer to.
Really?
Very few... Yeah, all those games are that style. Like, the greater SMT series. Persona is the fun, like, wacky, like, cousin who's just, like, always partying. SMT is, like, the emo kid in the corner with, like, the droning sounds for music.
I brought this up, but the Revelations Persona gave me, like, major LSD vibes.
Yeah. No,
like,
for sure. Well, even, like, the first-person view, that's in the SMT games minus 3. 3 had, like, Persona-style free walking around, but, like, yeah, all the rest of them are like that.
Interesting.
The 3DS ones are all that. I mean, mind you, because it's a newer system, though, like, the graphics are a little nicer, and the characters are better written, and not as cursed, not like Mark.
And the way they, like... summon their persona in the first one is super complicated.
Yeah, do the four corner. Well, that's a Japanese thing, though, the four corner thing. Yeah, that's cursed.
Just like from that to ripping masks off.
I will say I played a little bit of Persona 2 because I put it on there. Already starts off way less cursed.
Oh, that's good.
Way less. Also played a bit of Devil May Cry 3 because I've never actually played it myself. And I said to myself, you know what? I was going to originally do videos for it, but there's so many things coming out that I'm like, I mean, I gotta do Pikachu, gotta do Smash Bros, and then right away Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out. Like, there's gonna be no time. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna play this on my own time, and just play it on my own, which is the much better choice.
Is this Tanner May Cry?
I may have... Well, okay, I started it on normal difficulty, and I was like... And I died in the first level a bunch of times. And I'm like... Oh, no. Like, I played through Devil May Cry 1 on normal difficulty, and it was difficult, but it was doable. But, like, I'm playing it now on normal for 3, and I'm just Googling, like, what's, like, I Googled Devil May Cry 3 beginner's tips, and people are like, this is one of the hardest games ever made. Don't expect to do well on your first try. And so, literally, I said to myself, I don't have the time for this, so I'm playing on easy mode.
Oh, okay.
And on easy mode... I'm having troubles with some stuff.
Huh.
Now, I'm not dying a lot.
You have to get your gamer skills.
But there was a couple times where I'm like, I'm doing stuff and I'm like, wow, this sucks. There's a few things in that I'm like, I don't know if I super love this. There's one boss that I apparently did entirely wrong. It's like this huge flying centipede.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are you supposed to... And people are like, yeah, you just jump on its back and hit its head. And I'm like, you can touch that thing? I didn't know you could touch it. So what I did was I spent like 40 minutes on the ground shooting at it and avoiding its laser attacks. I'm like, this sucks. And people are like, yeah, you just avoid it and you just jump on its head and attack it and jump off and just keep... Like, I hate this. It is tough. There's some cool stuff there. But I think as of right now, it's kind of going into my ridiculously overrated pile. So I'm looking forward to 4, because from what I played a little bit of 4 Special Edition, it's just... And it is a PS2 game, so there's PS2 jank in it. Locked camera angles.
Is 3 a PS1 game?
No, PS2.
Oh, okay.
Locked camera angles. There's... Like, you'll be in places where you can't avoid enemies. Because it's just like you can't see them.
Oh, okay.
And it's like there's a few, and one of the weird things is they gave Dante styles, so you could be a sword master, a gunslinger, a trickster, or have this thing called Royal Guard, and they each change how he plays. Sword master lets you do air combos. There's no air combos in the game naturally. Gunslinger lets you kind of use your guns better, so that's where he's like aiming in 2 directions and shooting with his guns, or like spinning in the air with his guns. It's all gun stuff. Trickster lets you, like, dash, and Royal Guard actually gives you a guard. Dante does not have a guard button. So I thought to myself, I'm going to pick the guard button, because, like, a game without a guard button, that guard makes it better, right? But it's like, the timing for guarding if you're not if you're not on the frame you get hit, you still take damage and you get knocked back. And I'm like, wow, huh? And people are like, it's the best one. You got to use it. And I'm like, wow, this is so it's rough. I'm gonna get through it though on easy mode, and then go into 4, and then be like whatever, and go through, enjoy that one a bit more, and then go on to 5.
Okay.
So cool. let's just hope 5 is balanced more in the direction of like,
probably will,
because I expected for 3 to be like Bayonetta. Like, Bayonetta on normal difficulty is the perfect game difficulty. It's kind of difficult to start, and then once you get into it, you feel it, and you're good. This one, it's so brutal. Like, the first boss is just a later game regular enemy, and it's just like this guy with a scythe, and I'm fighting him, and I'm like, what do you do? How do you... even still, I don't exactly know how you're supposed to damage him fully. I just got lucky, I feel. Like, it's ridiculous. So, not loving it the most, but oh well. I'll get through it. So I got that Shonen Jump subscription, and I said to myself, okay, again, I'm going through all the stuff. I want to get ready for Jump Force, because I want to do a Let's Play of it, and know everything about it. So I said, okay, I'm biting the bullet. I'm going to finish Naruto, because I read it as a kid, or watched it as a kid.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, I got a little bit into it. Let's see how far I got. And I'm looking, and I'm like, okay, so I got right up to the part where Naruto and Sasuke as kids were fighting. And so I'm like, okay, let's just look up where that was, right? I look it up. It's like, that was about chapter 200. I'm like, okay, how long is it? 700. Oh, no, I didn't get... And because it's like... And I thought there was... And then when I started reading, I'm like, oh, wow, this is right before the time jump. Because in the show, they literally had weeks and a year of filler before the time jump. They had an entire year of filler before that point. So I'm like, okay, I'm happy I stopped the show, because I could not handle filler like that. So then I'm reading it, and I went on a bit of a journey with this. I started with, okay, this is pretty good. And then I got really into it. And then by the end, I was like, oh God, can it just finish up, please? I've never seen something go so weird by the end. So let me lay the stage for you. There are 9... Also, by the way, we're just going to go into full Naruto spoilers, because he's never going to care about it. There are 9 giant monster beasts called the Tailed Beasts.
Okay.
Each one gets put into someone. And then there's a bunch of bad guys who are like, we're going to go get those monsters and put them back together to make a big bad monster, right?
Yeah.
And so you're like, cool, whatever. And so you're going along, and it's the battle between a bunch of kids versus these bad guys who want to get these monsters. Naruto has one of them inside him. It's like, okay, we're figuring this thing out. And then by the end, it's just like, by the way, the moon is the body of one of them. And I'm going to broadcast my eye onto the moon to make it so my eye can control people, so that everyone in the world thinks that they're living in the best world ever, but actually I'm controlling everyone. So I'm going to put my eye projected on the moon to control everyone, but the moon is not the moon. The moon is the body of the 10-tailed beast. And by the way, ninjas? Guess who made them? Aliens! And so then they fight. Then it's like, Uchiha Madara is like this guy who's like, I made the village of the leaf with this guy. And then he's like, by the way, I'm actually the reincarnation of this guy. And then you're like, but wait, I thought Naruto was the and it's like, no, okay, imagine this. You know how Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf reincarnate over time? Imagine that's not once every 100 years. It's every generation. So they'll be Grandpa Link, middle-aged Link.
So it's like Donkey Kong.
Kind of, but it's they'll just be 4 people in the same place, and they're all the reincarnation of the same person. And then, by the way, that reincarnation, the original version, just comes back to life at one point. It's like, hey, you guys are reincarnated into me because I'm now a ghost. And so there's all these the whole.
What the hell?
And the problem is, as I was reading, I was like, oh man, cool. there's like parallels between characters. Like you see, it all comes down to disagreements between two people and their motives, and like you can see there's parallels with each other, and I was getting really into it.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, yeah, the reason that this is happening is because you're literally destined to be like that because we're reincarnations of each other always. And I'm like, that's stupid. Why didn't you leave it as subtext instead of just telling me? It gets ridiculous at the end.
That's
where
whack.
it's whack. But I finished it. I learned.
Is it a complete story, or is it still going?
Okay. So it's done, but it ends with a kind of "and the journey continues" sort of thing, where it's literally Naruto's son Boruto. That's his name. Boruto. Naruto's son is Boruto. It kind of ends with like Naruto is like the president in the ninja world, because that was his dream. He was the Hokage, but it means the president in the ninja world.
Okay.
It ends with him. He achieved his dream, but then his son's out there, and his son's like, man, I hate the Hokage. It's stupid. And so it's like, it's cyclical because that's how he started, right? So that's where it ended. And people were like, all right, cool. That's the next generation. And then someone else was like, hi, can I make that a thing? And then the author was like, sure. So then someone else is now continuing it.
Okay.
As like, so like what was once just a "and the journey continues" turns into a new series, and I'm not touching that. But I finished it, and it does end with Boruto drawing the One Piece logo on Naruto's face, which made me happy.
What does that mean?
Because back in the day, the big rivalry was One Piece versus Naruto.
Oh.
It's literally pirates versus ninjas. Like, it was ongoing for a long time, and it still kind of is, because now there's Boruto as the ninja. But it was like, what's the better one? And I can firmly say, without a shadow of the doubt, One Piece is the better one. Because, like, I just got so frustrated with Naruto by the end. And it's not Naruto the character. Naruto the character is good, but it's Sasuke, the rival. He's just the worst thing ever. Because his whole thing is just like, okay, he hates the village that he was raised in because his first quest starts off with, I have to kill my brother because my brother killed my entire family. Okay?
Okay.
That's pretty straightforward. Then he learns his brother was a good guy because his brother killed his family because, my family was plotting to overthrow the government and like kill everyone themselves. And so the brother was actually a good guy stopping his family, but he didn't kill his little brother because he's like, well, you're not part of this yet. You're not a bad guy. So then what's this bright idea young Sasuke do? He's like, well, obviously I got to kill everyone in the village now because they're the ones that's wrong. And Naruto's like, you shut your face. That makes no sense. And then at the end, they're killing the moon god who created ninjas. They kill her. And then it's like, we did it. We saved the ninja world. And then at the very last moment, Sasuke's like, all right, now it's my turn to take over the world. And Naruto's like, now you hold on a minute, mister. And he's like, I use my eye power to take over all the beasts, and now we're going to fight on these planets, and we're going to go all out. And you're just like, why? Why are you doing this? You just fought to save the world. Now you're going to destroy it all for your sake of revolution? And meanwhile, Sakura, the one girl of the trio, because of course every trio has a girl in there too, she's like, like at one point she confesses to Naruto, like, Naruto, I love you. And Naruto's like, lol, gross. And I'm very happy for him for that. But then this whole time she's like, just kidding, I've loved Sasuke all this time. And then she's always loved it. It's been known. But then at the, like, you're reading this and she's like, Naruto has to save the village, but I love Sasuke so much, so I don't know who to cheer for. It's like, he wants to destroy the world! And everyone's like, oh, Naruto's ambition to save the world and Sasuke's to end it. What a noble battle. And you're like, no, why are you praising him? He's the biggest jerk ever. He's the worst. And it literally ends with them, like, on the ground, arms cut off. They're bleeding out, and they're like, oh, what a great fight, right? Oh, yeah, it was pretty fun. You're my best friend. And I'm like, what? And by the way, like, off screen, he's killed thousands of people. He's a murderer. Sasuke.
Okay.
He's killed so many people. Innocent. The guy who he was with literally used people's bodies for human experiments and, like, brutally tortured them and, like, gave them these things called cursed marks, which turned them into, like, animal kind of hybrid monster things. He gets away scot-free. Sasuke gets away scot-free. And it cuts ahead, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, off screen, Sasuke and Sakura, they married each other and had a kid, and he's just roaming around, and it's fine. And you're like, he's literally so evil, and he's getting away fine. And then it's like, yeah, Orochimaru had a kid too. The one who literally threatened to destroy the village. Like. Sasuke, you know him. You know Sasuke. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Sasuke Uchiha. You've seen this guy. Look at him. Guy.
Him.
Yeah, he is just so ridiculously evil, and everyone's like, I forgive you, and it's like, no! Like, literally, at the drop of a hat, he goes from, we did it, the power of friendship, we saved the day, to, by the way, I call for revolution, I'm gonna kill everyone in the village and make it my own. And then then they fight, they lose their arms, then it's like, whatever, have a kid, who cares? You're fine. Anyways, it was pretty good. Like, it's stupid.
Sounds stupid.
Like, I'm talking, when you have a character whose power is I can make infinite clones of myself, you get stupid stuff. Naruto's power is I'm just gonna make clones of myself. So he's just like, okay, one sequence, I love this. It's like, okay, here's a technique that takes people a lifetime to learn. Thousands of hours of work. So he's like, what if I just split myself up into 1,000 people and we each do an hour of work? Yeah. And they're like, that's so stupid. And then it's learned that, like, when he makes a shadow clone, when they come back, all their memories are put back into him. So then that causes many, many, like, questions of who's the real one, right?
Yeah, okay.
So, like, but then they do that so many times where, they're like, why is this working? Where he just does things. And it's just stupid where it's like, well... What if it goes from, even if you're the underdog, you can do anything to, well, actually, because your family is predisposed to this technique, you're actually going to be better. So its message of anyone can achieve everything is lost when it starts to talk about, well, actually, your family is, your dad was the previous leader, your mom was from a clan with the most powerful thing ever, your ancestor is this, so it's stupid, but I enjoyed it. So.
Okay.
I'm happy that I got that off my chest, though. Anyways, let's talk about a good anime now. So I also watched on Netflix High Score Girl. Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay. Go home and watch it.
It's okay.
Okay. Well, let me explain, okay? So it's an anime. I
just can't watch an anime.
About the 90s arcade boom in Japan. So it's about a kid who goes to an arcade and he plays Street Fighter 2. Now, when I say he plays Street Fighter 2, I'm not saying he plays like Road Warrior 2 or something. No. It's literally Street Fighter 2. And it's even, you hear Johnny Young Bosch, voice of Zero in the Smash, be like, oh yeah, Street Fighter 2, I'm gonna pick Ryu. It's weird. But then it's about him. He loses to a girl who goes to his school who plays the strongest Zangief in Japan. And it's all about these two people playing real video games. Like, every game featured in the show is real.
Okay.
Like, this is the Smash Bros. Of anime, because everything is there. And they talk about it.
Like what?
Every Capcom game, every SNK game, every Namco game, in the backgrounds, you'll just see King of Fighters, Metal Slug. Later on, they start playing Tekken. They play Virtua Fighter. They play everything. Characters will bring out a Super Nintendo and play Final Fantasy on it.
How are they allowed to do that?
Well, because Square Enix actually made the anime.
Oh, okay.
So they obviously connections there. But it's all... Okay, but here's the wild part. As he's fighting this girl... He starts to, think to him... Number one, everything that they talk about is, real fighting game stuff. In the first 4 minutes, he goes in, I'm gonna turtle as Guile. And then it goes in there, Guile turtling refers to holding down back with Guile so that you can flash kick if someone comes from above, or Sonic Boom if they come from... And then, it's showing, it's real fighting game stuff. So that's really cool. But then, as the show goes on... So the whole thing is the main character is obsessed with video games. So he starts to bring that into his real life, and he'll be like, God, what do? I don't... And literally, Guile himself will walk into the room, and he'll be like, son, this is what you must do. And, like, the video game characters just talk to them, and they're all the real sprites.
Huh.
So you'll just see the sprite of Guile walk into the room and be like, son, you have to sonic boom her heart. And it's just like, it's ridiculous, but here's the thing. On its own, that premise would be haha whatever worthy. I've never imagined a show to get me so emotionally invested, because it's like, it is heart-wrenching. It is so good at making you want to cry over these video games.
Jesus.
It's so good. But it's because it's set over a period of years. As it goes on, it'll be like, it's been 3 years since we last saw our hero. Street Fighter 2 has had 2 revisions, and King of Fighters 1 has come out. And it'll be like, it talks about, like, the boom of 3D video games and 3D fighting games, and, like, those games are more expensive, and, like, the views of arcades were seen as degenerate hangouts so, like, he has to hide from his teachers, and, like, it is a perfect balance of A, haha, I recognize that video game. B, oh my god, they're using real fighting game techniques, and, like, everything that they talk about is accurate and right. C, like, the emotion of the story is so good. And like everything is just so good. But the only downside, and this might be a deal breaker to some people, is it is a 3D anime. So it is, all the character models are 3D models, but they then draw on the facial features. So it looks a bit weird at first. But it lends it really well when you start seeing characters German suplex each other and the camera spins around like it's Guilty Gear. So it's ridiculous and it's so good.
Sounds like your perfect anime.
It's really good. The only problem I have with it is I have to stop watching after a while because my tear ducts hurt. Like, I'm serious when I say it's heart-wrenching and it's so good. Finally, last thing, it's AGDQ right now, which is one of my favorite speedrunning events. If you have not ever watched it, I'd say go give it a watch and just see it if you like. It's on Twitch right now. I actually ended up buying, because I have money now, I got one of did you see the commemorative hoodie I got?
No.
Oh, it's cool. So I ordered the official AGDQ hoodie of this year. They always have clothing lines and stuff. Why is Shonen Jump giving me a notification? New free chapters just dropped of One Piece, My Hero Academia, and Dr. Stone. Thank you. But they always have a clothing line out. And so I actually bought their new hoodie for this year.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
So it has all the games that are being speedrun. They have the characters on it from it. So you got like... you got Klonoa, you got Gino, you got Arale, you got the Octoling, you got Wart, you got Rayman. And it's just kind of a cool, like, just hoodie, right? So It was $30. So, like, and it goes to charity there, and I'm just like, it's a cool thing to wear.
That's cool.
I also got, because they have other things going on, a book pre-ordered called The Science of Speedrunning, which is a book that goes into speedrunning's history, what it does for, like, how it affects game developers when they're developing their games, and just, like, some of the stuff about, like, what's a wrong warp? How do people get out of bounds in games? So I love that stuff. So I'm very happy that I have money now. It's quite nice.
Cool.
But I think that's about it for our weeks. And we are moving into the news, which is not too much.
Not too much for me.
Not for me either, because they're all on Christmas break. Christmas break it's a 2-week break in Japan. Like, there hasn't been much. So we will get through it. So you can start.
Okay. So there's not as much like fun Western news as there are just like controversies about right now.
Hey, that's fair enough. That's par for the course.
We'll start with the fun stuff.
Okay.
PT got remade.
Yes.
Looks almost 1-to-1.
And they did it right where they didn't announce it beforehand to get canceled. Yeah. They just dropped the finished thing and were like, haha, bye! Which is how you do it with a company like Konami that will has quashed previous PT remakes.
Yeah, the thing, it doesn't have the ending with Norman Reedus anymore.
Yeah.
But there is an Easter egg if you play it in the VR version and you
Yeah.
turn the camera around, you can see your model is him.
Oh, that's cool. That's
So
cool.
So yeah, I'm glad it's back in some form and fashion.
Yeah.
Shame about the actual game though.
Shame about the actual game. Speaking of shames, kind of, Japan has made game save editors and console modding illegal. So, this is good and bad. Good in which if someone is hacking a game and it's a real detriment to people, they can get, fined for it now. So, for example, people that normally, they load up Monster Hunter and you see them online and they have like 9999999 everything and they kill monsters in one hit and they kind of ruin the game. They can now be called out and be like, hey, stop this or we'll fine you, right? It kind of sucks because console modding means that you can no longer, say, hack a system to add new games, right? Now, here's the thing. It's illegal in the way that if a company comes after you, you'll get in trouble. But it's not like the police are going to be breaking down people's doors and being like, did you hack your PSP? It's like, no, it's not like that.
that meme video of the
FBI
man crashing
the
into
army man
the
crashing. Yeah, no, it's not like that. So it is bad for, say, like the preservation scene to like play games that were canceled because you have to hack it for that sort of stuff. But at the same time, it makes going online easier. But this also is like whatever because they're like, yeah, now R4 chips and like mod chips are illegal. They can just order them from the States.
Okay.
Like it's not that huge of a deal. There's workarounds. Yeah. So oh well, we'll see what happens with that. But hopefully it just makes online a bit less hacky. So we'll see.
Cool. Next piece of silly news.
Silly Willy.
On New Year's Eve, Fallout 76 had nukes disabled. The main game mechanic.
Yep. The main pull of the entire game. Because I was listening to a thing and I'm like, so what's the end goal of Fallout 76? And people are like, to get the nukes. So when they disabled it, they literally disabled the reason to progress in the game. Okay.
Yeah, that's that. Not much to say on that game.
It's astonishing how it just continues. Like, I'm not even going to say continues to be bad, but it just continues, right?
It's always in the news.
Some
form or fashion.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, back to you.
There was a Klonoa film that was being
Klonoa
worked on.
Again?
You'll recognize it when you see it.
Is it like a rabbit?
It's it's a Namco mascot there. Klonoa.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So there was an anime film being worked on for him. No longer the case. It has now been canceled.
How come?
Well, probably because that was announced 2 years ago, and we have not seen a single thing about it. It was being worked on by Hitoshi Ariga, who was the guy who makes like Mega Man manga and stuff. So he's like a well-known guy. But it was just one of those things where it's like nothing came out of it, and so honestly, I wasn't even that surprised. I know some people are really sad because they announced it, like, yeah, we're making it, it's gonna be awesome, trust us. And then like the Twitter said nothing for years, and then they're like, yeah, it's canceled. And it was just one of those things where it's like, sucks, but understandable. Nothing was being done. Have a good day, right? Though Namco then did come out and say, like, don't worry, we're still working on, like, we still want to do stuff with Klonoa. We're not like shelving the character and franchise and stuff. We just haven't done much with him, right? So. Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks, but
Life goes on.
Life goes on.
All right, so first piece of controversy.
Yes.
Have you heard of this?
Yes.
You probably be better at describing it than me.
Okay, so there was a announcement that this girl was joining an Overwatch pro team.
Yeah.
Then that person got threats and was doxxed and all that bad stuff. And then that turned into Why Are Gamers the Worst Thing Ever. Then it comes out where it's like, that person doesn't exist and was made up by that team, was actually a dude, and then they played it off as, haha, it was a social experiment, which turned into Why Are Gamers Still the Worst Thing Ever?
It doesn't change anything.
It still makes the fact that if it was a girl, it was them doxed and bad. But then two, it becomes, why are you pretending to be... It's just, it is so stupid, every single part of it. Every single part.
State of Overwatch right now.
It is so bad. And then there's people coming out being like, there's no problem with girls playing games. They just have to be good enough. And it's like, yeah, if they're good enough, then they get doxxed. Come on. So, like, it's rough. It's rough all around.
Gamers are the worst.
Gamers are the worst.
All right, back to you.
Okay, so there was an announcement of Persona 5 new projects.
Yes.
Now, these will coincide seemingly with some of the new registered domains for the internet, which happens all the time. I mean, that's how we knew about dancing games. That's how we knew about Q and Q2. We always like, so these are here are something, and I've guessed what they are. So, of course, the first one, PersonaR.jp. It's Persona R. We don't know what Persona R is.
Probably like, the golden version of...
It could be the golden, or it could be a potential, like, Persona 5-2? Kind of a... It could be. We don't know yet. We don't know exactly what it's going to be.
Or it could be like a extension of the end of the game type
Yes. Thing. Yeah, well, yeah. So we'll have to see what R is going to be. We're getting news on that in May.
March.
Never mind. Yes, and there was Persona 5S and P5S. So people think that's for stars and Rs.
The last part of the anime.
Which is the last part of the anime, yeah, because Persona 5 Dark Sun, I watched a bit of it, not all of it, has a very good opening song, but otherwise it's just kind of I'm watching it, I'm like, it's still just the game. And so, okay, I'm just gonna not super go into spoilers here, but the ship level, you know how you have to go and fight a bunch of people, and like that's like the big thing is you have to go and fight like a bunch of like bosses, if you will, and each one is a big deal trying to get to like the one in the waiter's room.
Oh,
then you're going from room to room fighting like these big bosses, right?
Yeah.
It literally does that in a montage. It's rough.
What's so rough about that?
Like
is it just because it's just like doing the same thing?
Well, it doesn't even give them the time of day.
Oh,
like this big thing of each of these people were like big deals for like everyone was like like one of them was
now I remember.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So they were all these big people and just a montage.
I guess that.
So it's just like and also like a lot of it was the talk at the end. The big long one.
Oh yeah,
that's a lot of the episode, and it's not very fun to watch visually. There's also P5M, which I think is possibly movie. We'll have to see. Persona movies come out. They're just...
What are they? Are they
like
retelling again?
Okay, so the Persona 3 movies are just the retelling of the show. Or of there was no Persona 3 show. But it's just a retelling with better animation. They did like 3 movies for Persona 3.
Oh, okay.
Then there's Persona 5B, which I think might be Battle.
Kind of obvious.
Yeah, like instead of arena, it's battle.
Yeah.
So it might be something else. S could also be, if it's not stars and Rs, it could be Switch. Or like a Switch version. So we'll have to see. There's a bunch of different ideas of what it could be.
It just doesn't make sense why they wouldn't put it on Switch.
Yeah, at this point, for sure. No, I
make so much money.
Definitely, for sure. Even if it's just, vanilla with then you have to get Rs DLC or something, like that's fine, yeah.
Portable Persona 5, like, yes, please.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's about it for Persona 5. We'll talk more about it when we actually know what it is, because we know nothing.
All right, back to me. Did you want to talk about the Matt Pat stuff?
No, because it's just pretty much comes down to him being like, oh, I'm not at fault. It was my editors. And also, then it's like, no, me not linking to your game. Okay, so I guess we'll say. He did a video about a fan game that is not... It's not related to Undertale, but because it's like it's an top-down sprite-based RPG, he's like, "Is this the new Undertale?" And didn't even he got the name of the developers wrong. He didn't link to it. He it just everything was wrong. And then when the person's like, "Hi, I don't feel right about the way you represented our game. You didn't say the name of it in the title. You called it The Next Undertale, all capitals." We're not related to Undertale. Can you fix that? And he said, actually, what I did was better because more people will watch that video than give your game the time of day. And then Toby Fox, creator of Undertale, came out and said, you went too far this time. And like people said, like, that is true. Like, for someone who doesn't speak a lot and is just very nice to everyone, that was like earth shattering. He still hasn't fixed it.
Oh, jeez. Why is it so difficult for people
because,
to like...
Well, no, but he's always been like this. And people don't realize this. He's always been like this where he just doesn't care. And then we got then the Matt Pat is canceled party was a thing where people were coming out and being like, hey, look at this. Here's all my artwork that he stole for thumbnails and never asked for. And then people were like, yeah, you see this video? He copied mine. Look at and he like did side-by-side comparisons. He's copied and done so much, but he's like threatening to sue people over a defamation. And they're like, doesn't work that way, bro. Doesn't work that way. You're stealing from me. So, yeah, he's horrible.
He's too busy simultaneously whipping and nailing.
Yes.
But actual news we have on here. The Spawn reboot is reportedly going to be not boring, but
well, the
won't
phrase
have any...
is no joy.
That doesn't sound like a good thing to say about your movie.
So, okay, but I feel like, do they...
Why couldn't you just say
comics? Gritty? Yeah, but the thing about comic Spawn has joy in its edginess and its ridiculousness, right? So, like, to say no joy is like saying my movie is not going to be a good movie. Like, it's yeah, like saying it's not going to be fun. It's like going to watch a movie to suffer. It's like, why would you say that? Yeah, I don't agree with this.
No.
And I guess what they're trying to say is they're not going to add in jokes like a Marvel movie. But why didn't you just say that then?
Yeah.
Just said, like, we won't add needless jokes like in Marvel movies. I'll be like, sure. I mean, I watched Infinity War again last night. There was points where it's like going between characters being brutally killed and like, hey, nice hair. I like the beard. You know, you could argue that some of the jokes in that kind of ruined the tone of some of the scenes. You could argue that. Yeah, I mean, I think they're funny, but you could argue that and I'd be like, hey, I don't disagree with you. Yeah. But just say, yeah, we're making our film have no joy. It's going to be like watching your child get beat in front of you. It's like, why would you say that?
All right. Back to you.
So Square Enix desires quote unquote aggressive international expansion. We'll talk about this in a little bit, I think.
Really?
We'll just hold on to that idea in our little brains as we move back on, and we'll get back in a little bit.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's some release dates coming out for some TV shows.
Yep.
Some Netflix TV shows.
Yep.
Stranger Things season 3 is set for July 4th. Did you see the poster?
Nope.
It's basically...
I haven't watched much. I watched about half of the first.
You have to watch it.
I watched about half the first and enjoyed it. I heard people say the second starts okay, but then gets bad.
It's a thing where... Okay, it's a thing where the first season was so good because you didn't know what the monster was. You didn't understand it.
Yeah.
But by the end, you understood it. So, you're going to the second one without any sort of, like, mystery. Like, you know what's going on. But it's just bigger and better threats. Which kind of isn't as good, in my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that type of thing. But I'm still looking forward to see what they're doing.
No, for sure, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Back to you.
So this one I put in Japan, even though it's not. There's a Kickstarter game called One Step from Eden. So this game, I'm just bringing it up here because I think it looks cool and I want to switch ports, so I'm shilling it everywhere. It is basically a spiritual sequel. I'll put it up on the screen for you. It's a spiritual sequel to Mega Man Battle Network. Okay. So it's using the same battle system, but instead it is a... where's the... it's not updated yet. Let's go Kickstarter. It is a kind of deck-building roguelike instead. But it just, like, the cool thing is it's using the same combat system from Battle Network, but turning it into... It's already met its funding goal, which is good. Cool. But I definitely want it to be on systems and stuff. So they have a free demo out. Basically, you choose, like, your spells, and you get to... it plays like a Mega Man Battle Network game, but in... so, like, you have a grid system, and you're kind of moving around. You have your chips, which are like your spells.
Is that how fast the gameplay goes?
Yes, that's how fast the gameplay goes.
Wow.
Which seems really fast, but this is literally what the Mega Man... This is made for people who religiously played Mega Man Battle Network, but instead of it being a 3x3 grid, it's a 4x4. But like I'm seeing stuff like they use the air hockey spell. These are like they're all Mega Man things.
Okay.
Which is nice because this is a Mega Man Battle Network has a weird gameplay system that no one's ever successfully replicated. So, but people played this and they're like, this is awesome. So it's kind of going to be a spiritual sequel. There's boss fights with bosses kind of can move into your field temporarily. The bosses are going to be playable. So they'll each have their own gameplay styles. There will be multiplayer where you'll get two people fighting each other at the same time. So I think it's going to be really cool. There is it kind of sucks, but there is an Undertale type murder or mercy system. So you choose how you think, but it looks really interesting. The world looks cool. I'm just kind of excited for it.
This reminds me of a Club Penguin minigame.
What? What?
Do you know there's like cardjutsu stuff and like ninjas?
Okay. I was gonna. Okay. Okay.
What?
That thing, the cardjutsu, was actually people dug around in the source code for that game, and they found Mega Man Battle Network sprites. It started as a developer's fan game that they then put into it, but they're sprites of Mega Man.
Really?
And yeah, so I remember hearing about that. When you brought that up, I'm like, that was a time when someone like made that and they put that into Club Penguin without realizing it was just a knockoff.
There's literally Cardjutsu Snow is basically just like that.
Cardjutsu Mega Man. So it's literally yes. It was actually like originally. Okay, where was it? I remember hearing about this. Like, yeah, that was like there was Mega Man sprites left in it.
It might be in trivia or something.
Might be in trivia there. But I remember hearing about it. Tips, spin-offs, trivia. Maybe where was it? I think it was one of the like cardjutsu, like it was.
But you go to Cardjutsu Snow and look how like similar it looks.
Okay, let's see here. Okay. Oh my god, I hate this.
What
I
are you
hate
doing?
this. I'm trying to press the go up button. So the snow version, you said, right?
Cardjutsu Snow right there.
Okay.
That's just the logo. Go down to the gameplay.
Similar.
It's similar.
Yeah.
It's reminiscent.
It's reminiscent for sure. No, there was a couple different. No, I might be thinking of the Lego Spinjitzu that used it
probably.
instead. But it was there was a game that just literally ripped. I think if I type in Lego Battle Network rip off. Right here, browser-based Lego game steals asset from Lego game. So, like, literally, like, look at this comparison, right? And, like, people looked in the files, and, like, look, there's Mega Man, there's Mega Man's forms. So, yeah, it was the Lego one instead, but that was Ninjago. So, similar, but, yeah. So, I just think it looks really cool. I'm going to be playing the demo on my channel pretty soon to hopefully get the word out, but I just, as someone who grew up with Mega Man Battle Network and loves it, to see a game kind of go for it, but in a little different way, while still keeping a bit of the Mega Man aesthetic, is really cool.
Cool.
And last one from you.
Punisher Season 2 is on Netflix on January 18th.
So are we betting this is the last one and they're only putting it up because they finished it?
Or they don't want to be like, oh, it's canceled. So
yeah,
it's like,
right.
What's the point of watching it, right?
Yeah.
So I hear from early reviews, or people who saw it early, that's really bad.
Oof.
It's like, oh, no, I don't want to hear that because Season 1 was really good. But, like, we'll see. I still have to watch Daredevil Season 3, so.
Fair enough.
Then Jessica Jones will come out this year, and then that'll be it for Netflix.
Oh, Jessica Jones still coming out?
Yeah.
Okay.
It hasn't been canceled yet, probably because they're still in the middle of
making
it.
Okay.
Okay. What was this Square Enix thing? Are you...
We'll talk about it when we get to a certain section.
Okay.
Yes, I pointed it out to him. So we're going to take our quick break.
Yep.
And when we get back, we're going to do our foreign exchange of Dad of War and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Phantom Blood.
Talk about this, man.
Oh boy. Here we go. So we'll see you guys in just a second. Ciao.
Bye.
All right, And we're back.
We're back.
Are you ready to pose like men? So, we, for our exchange this week, exchanged God of War, the PS4 one, Dad of War, as it's more commonly known, as well as Jojo no Kimio na Boken, Phantom Blood. So, who should start?
Did I start last time?
I think I will this time.
Okay.
Then. All right, so the Daddy of War. Now, it should be said, I did watch a full playthrough of the actual, the story of the game on the Best Friends channel there, RIP Best Friends, I almost say that every time nowadays. But this was my first time playing and feeling it.
First off, I just want to say I loved your stream and like the compilation you made.
It's good.
Daddy, good.
I love it.
And it's just the cutscene playing out, and then you're like, okay, so you know what? And then you just pull the monster serpent.
Because that's the world serpent. Come on. But first time actually playing it, and definitely it was one of those things where I was surprised with sort of how it was balanced, because I was playing on normal difficulty, and I was playing it, I'm like, wow, this is definitely balanced more towards, it's a tougher game to get, like, well, it's not tough in the way of getting into it, but the game is, like, it gives you the tools and says, okay, there's no warm-up, you're in. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a world where you have to be in there. And I did enjoy it, and even, like, getting, a few of the power-ups as I kept going there, I was like, yeah, it's really fun there. Did have problems with the boys aiming. Having to manually aim at them, and the lock-on always...
you don't have to manually aim.
I had to, otherwise he shot at the ground.
I guess. Oh, yeah, I guess.
He shot at the ground if I wasn't aiming at them.
Yeah.
So, and the lock-on would sometimes turn off. Like, when Baldur would jump, it's like, sorry, your lock-on's gone.
There, but okay.
Well, no, it's not a spoiler.
Yeah,
it tells you in the first...
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
It just literally says stranger.
Yeah, and then like, 15 minutes later, Kratos is like, boy, did your mom tell you anything about a god with regenerative powers? Oh yeah, Dad, his name was Baldur. Boy. Like, that's right when they get the boat. Like, that's within the first 2 hours there.
It's been a while since I played.
That's right there at the beginning. I made sure. But now his weakness is something that they do, but of course I knew that, or whatever. They go into that pretty quickly.
So how did it feel to you, the gameplay? Did it feel like I said it was going to feel?
Yeah. So of course, when I first
did it feel differently from how you saw it?
Okay, so when I first saw it, I was really angry when I first saw the original stuff for this, because I looked at it, I'm like, this isn't God of War. This is The Last of Us, or this is any over-the-shoulder third-person Sony game. You know how they are, right? But when I first saw more gameplay of it by the Best Friends and then played it myself here, I was like, no, it is a evolution of the original combat in the same way of the evolution from the corner of the room Resident Evils to Resident Evil 4 with over the shoulder. Mm-hmm. Like, it's the same evolution of, it's the same thing, but done a bit differently. Now, the only real big difference is, of course, when the camera zoomed out, you don't have to worry about enemies behind you because you see them, right? And, turning around is as quickly as turning the stick, right? So definitely one of the things is you have to know, like, when there's enemies behind you.
It does give you that little indicator.
But the game does not only give you the indicator, but if you turn that off, then you have your boy who's always saying, like, Father, there's someone coming behind you. And it's like, and that is really natural feeling where it's, even if you turn those off, because you can go into immersive mode with no UI, if you were to turn those off, you would still be fine, because the game is made and in a way that you could work with it that way. And so I thought that was really cool.
But did, like, every hit, like, feel, like, powerful?
So
that's what I get. That's what I get.
A lot of the hits do feel really powerful and good. The only thing I would say is the air combos are silly. The air combos are like, you hit the enemy up and they're like, whoa, I'm flying in the air for a full second. And you're just like tapping them above you and they're like, I'm still in the air. And so the air combos are silly, but I'm happy that's there, because I think it would be really boring if you did a launcher and then they just fell and you couldn't do anything out of it. So I feel like that's one place where I'm like, I thank them for sacrificing the realism to make it so you can do some God of War air combo stuff.
Well, what about setting? What about like the whole Norse setting? Because you went through a few things. You went through like the snow,
no, for sure.
the turtle.
I'm a bit like I like it, but I think I liked Greece more.
Really?
And I think what it comes down to is I much prefer kind of cities and like structures to rocky caves that are kind of naturally there.
I guess
I really liked I really liked how God of War 1 is pretty much entirely in a singular dungeon that, you know, has different environments in the dungeon that are connected to each other. Like, I like that, you know? I didn't like it as much when God of War 2, it's like you're kind of more going on the journey there, because it felt like, well, now you no reason to go back to old locations, right? I like that idea of the one big... it's arguable that God of War 1 is a Metroidvania.
I could see that. But like this is also like a one area type.
No,
thing.
it is. Well, because then once you do get to the thing later on, you do get I got to the hub world, if you will, the hub location. Then you go through the portal to the different places, and that's cool. But I don't know. I think there's aspects of it I really like.
I think it's just like I'm excited to see a different.
No, for
area,
sure. Yeah, for sure.
Because we've been in Greece.
We have been in Greece for a long time, and I know. Like I mean, I didn't even touch Ascension.
No,
Again,
you don't need to.
So forgettable, because it's just another one, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, definitely, and I do kind of hope we get God of War 2, and then move on. I don't want it to be another like 4 games in here, right? Like I want it to be either a sequel and then like a big finale, like kind of a God of War.
It should be a trilogy, but like don't do the spin-off like Ghosts of Sparta.
Yeah, right.
That kind of
so
stuff.
Either of those, but then I do want to see, because there's I mean, again, like I'm going off of the stuff I watched the playthrough, but there's some stuff that hints at some other locations for later that I'm like, please get there right now. What I'm basically saying is, when God of War Japan happens, I'm going to flip out and buy that day one, because there's hints.
They did they made such a good decision to do like the jumping to a different
and another thing is, it's not a reboot in the way that it's like, oh, we're in a new place, let's drop everything. It's like the ties of it in Greece are there.
Because even Baldur says like, oh,
yeah, you're not from around here, stranger, and you're supposed to be the enlightened ones, and I love that. No, Baldur's great, and Baldur, like I looked at Baldur, and what I said was, Baldur is what Kratos would be if it was a DMC style reboot.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Like that would be what Kratos would look like if it was a reboot, and I'm happy it's not.
Speaking of Baldur,
okay,
how did you like his boss fight? Now that you played
Oh man, well I mean, it's so good. It's such a strong start. Now, would I have wanted maybe more of those in the full game? Because again, I know how many there are in the game. I've seen it. And do I think that it ends as well as God of War 1? No.
How did God of War 1 end again?
You know how Ares was huge, and so you fight the giant with Ares, and there's like spiders on his back, and it's ridiculous, and you're like, Ares, and you're killing. And so I kind of would have liked a...
It's more of a poignant ending.
Yeah, no, it is for sure. But I would kind of have liked maybe when the thing happens that weakens him, to maybe him then to freak out and turn into a giant monster, and you have like a big giant monster fight. Because I feel like, to me, that's God of War, is those big fights, right?
But this isn't. This is
I know.
God of War next, you know?
I guess. I just don't want it to always be human-sized opponents, you know?
Yeah, when I first got the game, I wanted what you want, like big giant things, but I'm glad they went back to basics.
Okay.
To more simplistic stuff.
Yeah. Oh, no, I wouldn't want that for the whole experience, but I thought even just to end it with one big one, you know? There are a couple in the game.
Yeah.
But, you know,
They're
not the same scale even.
But again, this is God of War.
Yeah,
God of War
enough.
4-1, you know? Like,
for sure.
When we get to the third one, we might be fighting giant, like, Thor or something.
Oh man, there's the one, I think it's the giant bird in hell.
Oh yeah.
I really wanted that to be a boss.
I thought it was going to be, because that thing looks so scary in the back.
It was terrifying. I wanted that one to be a boss.
But again, probably it's going to be like in the future.
Hey, yeah, no, it's true. Nothing says I can't.
But just like, I don't know. I don't know if we want to talk about further from what you played, but
Yeah.
But is there anything else? Like, what do you think of the World Serpent? Like the actual one in the game?
He's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, well, he was in a lot of the advertisements though, so it was kind of a thing where it's like when a joke from a movie trailer is said in the movie, and you're like, there it is. I'm not laughing anymore. Like, I knew about it. So, but no,
it's the size of the lad. You know, like
I've seen bigger.
Really?
In Monster Hunter, there's bigger.
What?
Yeah, dude. There's. Let's just
This
say
thing's
that
as big as the planet.
Kulve Taroth is not the only 16-man mission in Monster Hunter. There's some that are even bigger.
Jesus.
So, but no, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And definitely something that I'm looking forward to seeing the future of, especially with some of the revelations from the end of the game with certain characters.
We don't want to talk about that.
We won't, of course not. I don't want to spoil it for people. But we'll see.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Is that it?
That's about it for me.
All right.
Okay.
I hate you.
Why?
Because you kept this away from me.
I've literally not. We've literally talked about it forever. But you've always been, well, it's never been a thing that you've actively, avoided.
No,
but it's just been a thing that we talk about it and you never acted upon it. Like, as soon as I heard about JoJo, I jumped on it to be like, okay, what is this then? Because I didn't know about it until the anime was actually done. This anime.
Okay.
Like the first season here. Like, I didn't know about it. I jumped in on it after, and then I was like, whoa, this is so good.
So I finished it this morning.
Okay, so that you finished Phantom Blood specifically.
Phantom Blood, yes.
Okay, so not all of the first season, because technically Phantom Blood and then part 2, which is a Battle Tendency, that is kind of the season 1, if you will.
Okay.
And then later on, they actually do multiple seasons.
Is the series done, or is it still going?
Okay, are you talking about the manga or the anime?
Let's say both.
Okay, so the manga is ongoing on part 8. The anime is ongoing weekly at part 5.
Okay.
So, but the what you just watched is from the 80s.
Really?
Not the anime, but the manga itself.
Okay.
So that was a 2010 or 2011. Definitely 2010 or 2011, because I remember watching it there. But it was it was a new adaptation of an old thing, because there was a adaptation in like the not the 90s, but the 2000s of it, but it was so bad that the creator hated it and said, until someone can do it well, we're not letting anyone make it. So then the studio that was relatively unknown at the time, David Productions, came out and said, hey, can we show you what we've done? And then he's like, yes, that is good. You're allowed to make my show and no one else. So cool. That's what happened there.
Okay, so the first episode we did watch
a long time ago when I was trying to introduce you to JoJo, just because it was, again, you weren't, that was way before you were even trying many Japanese things, I think. Like, that was before Persona 5 and Final Fantasy there.
Oh yeah, that was way before. But it was nice to see it again, to like just like get a refresher. Like at the end, it's like, did you just kill Danny?
Yeah, you're
just
like,
all of a sudden.
Did he kill? It's not very obvious.
No.
The first time, and then you think about it, and you're like, no, he kind of did, huh? Yeah.
Dio's a prick.
He's such a prick, though. But here's the thing: unlike
it is laughably terrible.
Unlike Sasuke, no one gives Dio the time of day, and that's the important thing. Yeah. No one's like, "Oh, I respect you, Dio, for the." No, it's like I mean, aside from possibly one character. But everyone's like, Dio, you suck.
Just like, oh man, it just slipped my mind just now. Oh yeah, the other thing I want to say is like, there's a thing in media, in the West at least, it's like, something's bad is about to happen, but it gets saved by someone at the last second. No, these people die.
Oh yeah. Oh, no, there's some wipeouts. Yo, when the one dude got his like head scooped off, I was like, oh! And that was, so one thing is, you're all watch, was it blacked out for you on the DVD?
No.
Good.
Like, okay. I saw it.
So, in the original airing, it was all blacked out originally. The gore was blacked out.
The part where...
But it was, you're watching the uncensored version on the DVD there.
The part where it was the mother and the child, and Dio's like... She's like, don't hurt my son. It's like, okay, I'll just kill you. But then, like... I didn't hurt your son, you did. It's like, you prick.
It's so... It it makes no reservations with like one thing is Western media. You can't hurt dogs and you can't hurt children. Dio does both in the span of very little time.
It is such like I don't know what it
ruthless.
Like, it's so ruthless. It's like I wasn't expecting it, and like I don't like love it that it happened, but it's like it's so refreshing.
It's refreshing to see something and be like, a villain is truly a villain, right? Yeah, no, for sure.
But back before like the origin stuff, just like the 6-year time skip, and there's like maybe Dio and Jonathan are dudes.
Are
bros.
Are they bros now?
Yeah.
And then for a bit you're like, oh, they're playing rugby. They're happy with it. And then it cuts them. They're like, God, I hate you, and I'm waiting for the day to kill you.
And then Dio kisses
Erina,
and then she just like she's completely.
She starts
shocked.
washing her mouth out with mud.
And Dio's like, you bitch.
Oh, man. So you watched it dubbed, right?
Yeah.
So you got Patrick Seitz as Dio.
It's so good.
He's so good. I love Patrick Seitz. He's the voice of Dracula from Castlevania now.
Really?
He's so good. And that's why when people were like laughing, they're like, oh, he's a vampire.
Oh, yeah.
So, the Jonathan, voiced by Johnny Young Bosch, as I said before. The guy who voices Zero in Mega Man and in Smash Bros. There, and he's in the high score girl there.
And then like the whole thing with the mask, I didn't know what the hell what was going on with it, and then Dio put it on the just like the random
dude, yeah,
and they turn him into like a zombie. I'm like, okay, so this thing turned people into zombies, and then someone on Discord was like, keep watching,
yeah,
and then like. Jack the Ripper.
He's just there.
He's just there. Jojo goes to Ogre Street and goes to find the medicine for his dad.
Yes.
And then Dio's like, I don't need to go. I don't need to go. He's gonna be dead by the time. But no, he.
I love how it's like Speedwagon like attacks him, and then he's just like he just gets the hat in the arm, and Speedwagon's like, yo, that's dope. I love you.
And then he just joins them.
Yeah. And the whole time he's just there, and he's just like, God, I love you guys. You're so cool. I just want to be with you. You're so cool. And he doesn't do anything, but he's just like he's like, I don't think he's in a single fight after that. He's just like, oh, Mr. Joestar, you're so cool.
Oh man.
He does a few things, but like no fighting.
And then Jojo goes back to the mansion. And then, man, this scene, everything about it. Like, Dio gets the mask, Joseph dies. It was kind of like spoiled in the credits. By the way, the credits, so catchy.
The roundabout?
No, not the roundabout.
The opening?
The opening.
Sono Gino Sadame.
And it goes, like, I never get tired of watching, like,
It's so good.
Yeah,
it's so good. And
amazing.
it's all the 3D animation. And that's one thing with JoJo. The opening spoils the entire show for all of them. But because you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
But then you watch it and you're like, oh wow, that's that. Like
when Dio gets shot with his mask
some of the biggest twists in JoJo are out there in the openings, but because you don't know, like if you read it, then you know and you're like, oh, it's that. But then for other people, they just don't know, right? Yeah. So like, it's like there's the openings are so well done.
Yeah, and then like Dio gets the mask on. He's like, I got it. The thing in the show too, it's like they explain everything.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
And it's executed so well. And it's like it doesn't ruin anything. It's like he did this to do that. Oh my god. And it's like but then
I love the phrase "I reject my humanity," JoJo. It's so good.
I like when he gets we'll get to that later. But like Jojo or Dio puts on the mask and he gets shot. And I'm like, okay, he's not dead.
Yeah,
absolutely not. And then like he turns into a vampire. It's like, why does he get to turn into a vampire?
But then remember, the first guy got killed in the sunlight.
Right.
The one who turned into the zombie that you thought, he got killed in the sunlight.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. He was a vampire too. It's all vampires.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's all vampires.
But they're just like more decrepit vampires.
Yeah.
Okay.
The idea of zombie vampire, it's probably just a thing where, because it's Japanese, of course, they just like kind of put them together and just said like, yeah, we're going to take bits and pieces of each of them. Our vampires are slightly different. Mm-hmm. They can shoot laser beams.
And then the matching gets lit on fire, and Dio and Jojo just duke it
so
out.
So one thing that you did miss watching the English dub is you get to hear when at one point when they're like falling in the fire there, you get to hear Dio in Japanese say goodbye Jojo, but in English, and because it's in Japanese, he goes goodbye Jojo, and you're just like, and it's out of nowhere. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna pull it up right here,
okay?
Because it's the funny, because you miss that entirely. Because of course you and I want to hear your opinion on like the dub too, because to watch the dub first is so weird because we didn't get that till years later. So I'm just gonna type in goodbye Jojo. So this scene here, right?
Yeah.
So it just as a goodbye, Jojo. It's so hilarious.
He puts his arm in the
he just puts his arms in the walls. It's so
dude,
good.
It's so ridiculous. I hate him, but I love him.
Right?
Right? And then like he literally disintegrates, but he doesn't die.
No, it's fine, dude. He's a vampire.
He just turns into a freaking Voldemort thing in Goblet of Fire, like when he's like just a husk. And like, it's like, yeah, we defeated Dio finally. And then it's just all normal, and then he comes across Zeppelini.
Zeppeli.
Zeppeli, right. Zeppeli. I get it mixed up sometimes.
William H. Zeppeli, named after Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Yep. Robert E.O. Speedwagon,
And
named
then his
after R.E.O.
mentor
Speedwagon.
was Tom Petty.
Yes, right.
But yeah, he's really cool. At first, I'm like, who the hell is
He's
this
a
guy?
bit weird, and then you're like, no, you're kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it was actually a big controversy that he had a mustache.
Really?
Because people were like, you're putting in a manga character with a mustache? Because back at the time, they all looked the same. They were all like, handsome, boyish figures, right? So when they designed him, it was a big deal that they gave him a mustache, and his editors were like, get rid of that, make him look younger. And he's like, no, people with mustaches exist, so why would they not be in my book?
Yeah, that's fair.
So
and this is when Ariana.
Erina. Well, it's because her name is supposed to be like Elena, but because the R and L problem in Japanese, she's Erina. Yeah.
Erina returns, and like they're chilling, and then that's when Zeppeli comes in, and then after that, they learn that Dio's not dead.
Yes,
obviously,
and he punches a frog.
Right, yes.
I was watching,
and then we learn how to Hamon.
Hamon, yes.
Hamon
energy.
And it's literally just like Jesus energy.
It's Jesus energy. It's power of it's breathing, power of the sun, pretty much.
Oh yeah, like Zeppeli just pokes him in the throat.
Yeah,
with his pinky.
Yep.
And he's healed.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool. And then like meanwhile, like Dio's like I forget the word. Recruiting people. He just recruits Jack the Ripper.
Jack. They're just casual, and I love the narrator who's just like, the year is this. Jack the Ripper is out and about. It's like, okay, that's one thing. The narrator will just like spout off random facts in the show, like
he does.
Especially because later parts, like this part takes place in England, the second part takes place in many different parts of the world, so they'll just be like, Mexico, this thing happens in Mexico, and it'll just be random. It's like tequila is the most drank beverage, and like then later on when you get to part 3, which takes place in like the Middle East, it'll be like, in Turkey they don't use toilets, they use these weird toilet things, so how are the heroes going to use these weird toilets? And it's like, it'll be like, iced tea is a popular drink of this region, and it's so good.
Yeah, and then they travel to a town. The opening for that episode was like, this town has this many residents. How many will be left after the big battle? I'm like, what's the big battle? Like, and then they come across what's his name? The kid. Pico.
Okay, so when you said that character's name, I completely forgot because there's such a nothing character in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I guess it is a true.
They never get, like, that's a character that never, ever, ever, ever gets brought back. And I'm like, oh, that was a character.
Yeah.
So.
He steals, like, literally everything from the Jojo and them. And it's like, they're not mad. They're like, that kid's cool. He could help us.
Yeah, right?
And then Zeppeli just walks across the lake, and what's his name? The guy from Ogre Street. I never
Speedwagon.
Speedwagon. He's just like he's walking across water. How the hell is he doing that?
And he's just so enthralled. He's like, I love you guys. You're so cool.
And then Jojo starts doing it, and his Pelly's like, Jojo, you're getting your feet wet. Do it better. It's like, okay. And then that happens, and then Dio appears with his knights.
Yes.
And this like fight. Oh my god.
Okay, but their names are Tarkus and Bruford. I
like how they went went to their backstories.
Yes, but I'm going to show you something. Did
you
know?
It did.
So, Iron Knight Tarkus in Dark Souls is literally named after, like, he's in there.
Oh, really?
So, Tarkus, so it's literally like both are massive knights with enormous unwieldy swords, thick armor, and a similar appearance. So, yeah, Tarkus is just in Dark Souls.
Huh.
That's, like, I don't know if you know this, JoJo is incredibly influential.
Really?
There's a lot of stuff that is just like half the Street Fighter 2 cast comes from JoJo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. But yeah, their fight, him with the hair reminds me of Bayonetta.
A little bit.
And then the way he defeats him is with nobleness.
Yep.
And just like exposing his true soul out of him. And like how they died, like with pure hatred in their heart, because like so I didn't really understand it, like get the wraparound, but like
don't worry, things just happen sometimes.
Yeah. And then
just for context, there's a JoJo character that when people ask, I don't get how this works, they just say, shut up, it just works. So it's sometimes you just go along with the ride.
One big question is like, why does Dio hate JoJo so much? Is just because he wants his empire?
Well, it's mostly because it's a situation where he had to like Dio lived in like a slum with the money, and this JoJo guy, he's like he has
spoiled
everything.
Spoiled
he's
brat.
spoiled,
yeah.
And so he's like, I'm going to systematically take down your life because I'm Dio, I'm awesome, I deserve this, and you don't.
Yeah.
So he's just like, I'm going to make your life hell. And then when he calls him out, he's like, okay, I'm gonna make your life so hell, I'm gonna become a vampire and pursue you.
Did he know he was going to turn into like that demon when he?
100%.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and then like when he got his neck all.
Yep.
He's like, oh, I'm about to die. I can't die. I have so many plans.
So many things I gotta do to mess with the JoJos.
Yeah, and then beats the hair dude, Tarkus.
That's Bruford. Yeah.
And then Tarkus.
Tarkus is the big one. Yeah. Oh man, that scene is so good.
I was like watching it. I'm like, I got work soon. I want to play some Smash. So, and then I switched to Smash. I'm like, okay, I want to watch another episode. So I switched back. And I'm so glad it ended on that scene. That scene
and you just hear like the guitar start up really early, and you're like, "What? What's happening?" And as it goes on, you're like, "I know exactly what's happening," and it's such a perfect drop.
I can't believe how perfect it is. I'm like, "Oh my god!" I audibly went, "Oh my god!"
I think that was the moment I went out, because again, like when I got to JoJo, there it was all done, right? So I was like, I just downloaded them all. That was the point where I'm like, I think I love this. I love everything
just
about this. Just the way
he like puts up his hand and it freeze frames and it's his face and like.
So, and now you know why the to be continued meme was such a thing, because it's like, because for a lot of people it was that idea of it just being the perfect stop before.
It's like, thinking about it gives me chills.
It's so good.
Just like he's like about to go to his like death, and even Speedwagon's like, did you just? And he's like, did you just seal your fate right there? And it's like, I'm like, the way he dies, again with the just the brutality of it. And it's like, that's unexpected, and he's still alive at the end for a bit,
for a little bit, yeah.
And then like, just all the Hammond. It's difficult to pronounce stuff.
So they actually originally called it, in a lot of it, they called it just ripple. Because again, it's a Japanese word, so they would use like the translation of it, which is ripple. So they would say like, sun sight yellow. Well, no, it was still the overdrive there, but it'd be like, there's like the ripple energy instead of Hamon. But then they went back and they said, no, we'll just keep it being Hamon energy.
And then I think during that episode where he dies, we learn his past.
Yes.
And all that kind of stuff. And like he was responsible for getting that mask out of the temple. Mm-hmm. And like he was responsible for everything type thing. So then after that, what between the castle?
I think it goes right there.
Oh yeah.
It's not much time. Like it's a short.
Yeah, Pico goes home to find his sister, but she's gone.
Yep.
I'm like, oh no. That's when I'm like, oh no. Dio has a Pico's sister.
And again, that was when you said that. I'm like, Dio. Oh right.
Then they go to the castle.
And there's two other characters with them at that point.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't get a good grasp on them before it ended. It was Tom Petty and
No, it wasn't him. That was the master. It was. They're not super huge characters. That's why it's like Dyer and Straits.
Okay.
Dyer and Straitso. Because they're named after Dire Straits, the band, right? So yeah, there's Dyer.
Right, him, yeah.
Yeah, and then Straitso. Now he actually becomes more important later. But Dyer is that's
Dyer's the one who dies, right?
Yes. They're under Master Ton Petty.
Ton Petty, okay.
Well, no, but here's the thing. So the names in Japanese are just straight up like the names of what it would be. They then, for the English versions, have to kind of change them to not be as copyrighty. So, like, those guys are literally named Dyer and Straits in Japanese, but they instead call them, like, Dyer and Straitso.
Oh, okay.
So then it's not as
obvious.
not as obvious and not as easy to hit the sue button on. They do that a lot. That's why when we get characters, for example, called Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, they become filthy acts at a reasonable price. So.
And then we have the final confrontation, second final, and the way, just the way Dio and Jojo fight, and it's like he cuts him in half with a sword. He's still not dead.
I just like the fact that he's like, I'm just gonna shoot a laser. The Reaper.
Like, where'd that come from?
And it's like Dio's using the power of his Hamon to like solidify blood being shot out of his eyes, which turn into his Reaper stinger eyes. And it's like, it's something that happens once ever, but they put it into every fighting game moveset for him because it's so cool.
And Speedwagon's like, he literally will not die. Yeah. He refuses to die. And the way like Dio has this like freezing ability so that
well, I like how it's like
Harmon can't.
So he just like by blood is heat. So by getting rid of the heat, you get rid of the blood. So then it's cold. That's how it kind of works, I guess.
So then Jojo literally has him in half, but he's still not dying.
Yep.
And he's like freezing him. But then you see the sword's in the fire behind him, and I was like, ah! And I was like, Dio's like, no, you can't do this. And then like he pushes him on the ledge. I'm like, hey, Dio's not dead. Like, it's just like this. He's a character who will not die. Like no matter how many.
Well,
see. Well, don't spoil.
I'm not gonna say anything.
But and it's like when he's falling, he's like, okay, I'm literally dying right now. How can I stop it? And he decapitates himself.
Yeah, man.
Because the Haman is making his way up.
So what's he gonna do?
Cut his head off.
That's just... And then he gets his racist Chinese caricature. That's literally what it is. Hey, the 80s was a different time, especially in Japan. They get him to come, and he's like, "I will save you, master."
And it reminds me of Peter Pettigrew and the Voldemort thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And even with the final scene.
Okay, but this comes way, way before Harry Potter. I know, but
so it's
obviously
probably...
J.K. Rowling read JoJo.
Yeah, it's just like the way the connections I make.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Then JoJo faints because like he's literally fought.
Yeah.
So hard. And then like, yeah, when that happened, I'm like, there's another episode left. It's obviously not the end.
Yep.
Then they go in the ship, and then like, everyone's chilling.
Yep, just chilling.
And then
they're getting married. They got married.
Yeah, they got Jojo and
Aaron got married there. Yeah,
good for them. And then the coffin. I'm like, it's the coffin. I wonder what's in there. It gets on the ship, and then this drunk guy. Was it the captain?
Dude, I don't even remember that much. It's been a long time since I've done anything with part one.
they show him at the beginning when they're going on the ship, and he says something.
I think it was the captain, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's drunk and he drops the cross necklace down there, and it's like, oh, here we go. So Jojo and Arina, sorry.
Just think like Elena, but Arina.
Arina are having dinner, and then Jojo sees the vampire in the back, and is like, oh my god.
Yeah, right? On my trip to America, you follow me here. So you're going to New York, because it's like, let's get out of here.
Okay, sorry. All the way back to the part where Jack the Ripper blocks them in the cave.
Oh, yeah, and he's in the horse.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on? And Sapelli is like, I'm going to abandon you unless you don't spill a drop of this wine while you're fighting him. And Jojo's like, no. Speedwing is like, are you kidding me? And Jojo's like, I'll do it.
Yeah, he's like, I'll do it, master.
And then and he just punches the wall behind him, and it's like, what was Jack the Ripper holding when he was fighting him? There's like this giant contraption.
Oh, I'm gonna look up Jack the Ripper Jojo. I don't even remember, dude. There's so many weird things that happen in JoJo. You can't even remember all of it. Well,
he shoots it.
He's full of knives. Just knives are everywhere.
That thing.
Oh yeah, it's like just like a weird razor sharp trap thing. Yeah, it's Dio dressed as Raiden or Dio.
Yeah, he stabs himself in the.
He stabs
shin.
himself. Yeah, he's like a
that
weird
thing, yeah.
contraption with like just a bunch of it's crazy.
Yeah, then Jojo goes to the room with the coffin.
Yep.
And then literally reminds me of the whole Lord Voldemort gets resurrected thing.
Yeah.
It's like put my head onto something else and it becomes, and like just the head of Dio is just so powerful.
Right? Because he can like move its like its little tendrils around and like move around. It's like, sure.
And it's like just the whole scene was just like, and when he dies, and it's like shows his like, this Jojo died this time.
Yeah, yeah. It says the date, and it's like the day Jonathan Joestar died, and so of course on that date everyone's posting it, right? Because it's like, of course.
It was sad. It was like,
well, it's also surprising. Think about you being a manga reader at that time and being like, we're only how many chapters in?
I guess,
and you kill off the main character.
Yeah, and then just the way Jojo like orchestrates everything.
But I love the image of like in death he's hugging him though.
Yeah,
and it's like that.
That's the part that got me. I think
it's powerful because
yeah.
he's like, I'm gonna hold on to you until the end. Because even then, at the end, he thought of him as a brother.
Yeah,
even if he's a massive jerk.
Oh, man,
a massive jerk.
But like how he got the stereotype vampire to just grip onto the pipes, so it like builds pressure and blows up the ship, so then Dio will be evaporated into the sunlight, and like Arina.
Yes. And she's pregnant at the time.
Oh, she was?
She's pregnant at the time, yep.
Okay.
They say that.
Yeah, and then like the whole thing with like one of the vampires killing the woman with the baby. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay. The axe is like, they show the axe moving. I'm like, okay, someone's gonna grab it. Nope. The woman dies. And the baby's just left there crying, and like,
oh no, I'm wrong. The baby there is important though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then we learned that Arina went to the coffin and survived.
Yep.
And like the narrator's like, yeah, she survived. She's alive. She's fine. Don't know where Dio is. Oh wait. Oh, what happened to Dio?
What do you think happened?
I like how he's like grips him with his tendrils. I'm like, I'm literally going to decapitate you right now. And then like the whole thing happens is like, why are you embracing me? Stop it. I don't know. Like the ship exploded.
Oh yeah.
He's exposed into the sunlight.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. So my question is though, where do you think it goes from here?
Well, they showed like the next episode.
Oh, they do. Oh, okay.
Showing like where the New York Jojo and all that thing. So it's a legacy thing.
Yes. Every part is years and years apart.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. So, okay, what did you think about the color palette
I loved it.
and how it changed depending on the mood?
Yeah.
Like, I think, because one thing about JoJo characters, there's no set colors for them. The only thing that's set
Is their hair.
is Dio is blonde. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Dio's blonde. That's it. Everything else can be whatever color you want it to be.
Huh.
There's a character whose whole thing is they're called Hierophant Green, and they've been red and pink and orange. And because it's just the color palette is whatever the tone needs, and I love that about it.
That reminded me of the mansion fire scene where Dio's literally climbing the wall.
Yeah.
With the but yeah, I loved the style. Loved it. Like it just felt so comic booky. Not comic booky, but manga-y. Manga-y.
Manga. Okay, sure. I see.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I know what you're saying, but I've never heard anyone describe it using that way. It's just, no, you're not wrong. But it's just like, yeah.
It just
Well, it's the most faithful of any manga.
I could see
Because
literal.
literally you can read it shot for shot with the show. Aside from, and this is something that's really cool, because this show came out years later, there's stuff that like would later, like there's plot points from later on that were not in the manga that they would start planting the seeds for early now. Oh, okay. So for example, I don't know if you know this or if you noticed, but there's a star-shaped birthmark on Jojo's back.
I didn't notice that.
You did?
I didn't.
Okay.
Or maybe I did. I saw it once. I'm like, oh, that's probably a mark.
Well, but it wasn't there in the original manga. But then later on, they say, everybody in the Joestar lineage has this star-shaped birthmark. But then you read the original manga, and it shows his back, and it's not there in the original. So they added it and said, okay, we're going to put that in to make sure that, like, yeah, it's actually there. So there's a few things where they changed up to make it fit better with the overall canon of everything.
Okay.
But for the most part, it's, like, you could read it panel for panel, and the shots are done the same. It
really, like, when I see like a frame, I'm like, I can obviously see the speed in the manga.
Yeah,
100%. And just the effects where it's like they're running and it's the effect behind them, but they're like moving like just a little bit. But the way they like animate it, like, just seems so much more like exaggerated, yeah. And it makes it more impactful.
No, for sure.
I love it. Anything else?
Let's see here.
I think this is like, honestly, I think this is the favorite thing. My favorite
what,
thing you
really?
gave me. I love this
That's
show.
That's so cool. Well, I mean, it is a classic.
Am I able to like buy it myself?
So this DVD is actually out of print now.
How about Blu-ray?
So, but do you want me to tell you why?
Why?
Because it was massively hated by fans.
This one?
The DVD. Have you seen the menus on it? They're bad.
I mean, they're basic.
They're so basic. Okay, dude, anime DVDs are not known for being basic.
Okay.
So there is a new Blu-ray of it that is way nicer in every regard. Let me just show you what the new one.
I think I did see it on Amazon.
Yeah, the new Blu-ray is so much nicer. In fact, it also looks like
so like was it.
Way nicer, and that shape there, it matches with the way the manga looks, which I'll just show you here. Plus, I want to see your reaction, seeing what the manga version of it looks like. Sure. Because it is quite a bit different. So it matches up with how that looks. Also, okay,
who's that?
Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, so. The cover arts are new art done by the artist. His art style has changed over the years. Huh. So if he were to draw Jonathan, Zappelli, and Dio now, this is how his art style is now. Huh. I know, it's very different. Yeah.
Zappelli looks similar, but like Dio and Jojo look completely...
That is Bruford.
Oh, jeez.
There is Dio and Danny. He still can't draw dogs. And yeah, that's supposed to be Jonathan.
Oh, I thought that's supposed to be the kid.
No, that's Jonathan. But if you look in the actual art of it, it looks like very different from what his now art is. But this is more of how like the era of the manga was. Also, yeah, there's like some pages that are only colored in red, which I think is a pretty cool way of doing it. But yeah, so you can sort of see how it looks quite different from the show, but at the same time you can still sort of see some
it goes to
similarities here.
Okay,
So,
they destroy the mask at the end, but it's such an integral part to the series.
is it though? Is it though? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But yes. So yeah, like this is. It shows like the difference between, you know. I like this. So the back cover has a picture of Dio and Danny. It says, "Did Dio and Danny make up?" Just for the cover. It's just so funny. We'll just see here. So we're up to the end of part 1 here. Yeah, like you can go through and there's the fight. Yeah, there's died February 7th, 1889. The ship explodes.
Oh yeah, and I like the ending with
everyone in the sky there.
Yeah, who died and all that.
It's great. So yeah, part 1, Phantom Blood, and
oh, that's so good.
It's so.
And people say this is the worst one.
Yes, probably because it's the most basic.
Okay.
So the next part 2, is a lot of people's favorite. A lot of people love part 2. Part 1 does not have a lot of the things that make JoJo, but it plants the seeds for them.
Okay.
So I love part 1.
Does it fly off the rails at a point? And is it good? But is it good?
Okay. So what
No
I will
spoilers.
say is up to part 7, everything yes, it flies off the rails, but it never goes too crazy. Like it goes crazy, but it's crazy good.
Okay.
Arguments can be made that the latest part 8, is too crazy. Arguments can be made, but that's not done yet. So I'm waiting for it to be done to binge it there.
Okay.
So, but no, it's very it's good. I love it. So, any final things about JoJo there?
I'm thinking here. There's like a small scene I missed that I don't want to bring up, but
Let's just see. What the frog punch? The best frog punch ever.
He's killing the frog.
He's killing the frog.
But then it just
okay.
And then after that scene, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that meme from a while ago.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There's probably so many things that are JoJo memes that like you didn't even know were a thing, and it's like like part 1, you've not learned a lot about it, really.
Really.
Because even the main gimmick of JoJo does not appear. What?
$66?
Yeah, it's a little expensive. It is.
What's the... Oh, this is part 2?
I think no, okay, so part 1...
Set 2.
Okay, yeah, because set 1 is basically season 1, which is part 1, part 2. That is, they do Phantom Blood and Battle Tendency together, I think. Is that...
But what's this then? Sorry.
So set 2 is Stardust Crusaders, which is part 3.
Oh, okay.
And I will say, part 1 and 2 fit into like, what, a 24 episode thing? Part 3, 4, and 5 are like 39 episodes each.
Wow.
Like the part 1 is super short. There's 3 manga for part 1. There's 4 for part 2. I have all of part 2 there. I didn't start collecting part 5 part 3, because part 3 is, I think, 8 or 9 long.
Jesus.
Like it's the long. It's everyone like they kind of that they max out around there. But yeah. No, so like, yeah.
But it comes with a bunch of stuff, though.
Yeah, it does. It's really cool. So what I would say is, if you are interested in it, I wouldn't worry about the part 1 as much. I'd say maybe, look into the...
No, I'm going to buy this.
Okay. Hey, man, it's up to you.
It's
sure,
on sale
sure.
from $80, so...
Sure. And no, but the Blu-ray is very nice. They also did do a bit of a redub on it. There's a few things that they went back and kind of reworked for that one.
Okay.
Mostly because...
This is something I want myself.
Okay.
That's how much I love this.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So, I didn't think that you would catch on that much. I'm going to be real.
Like from episode 1.
Really?
I was hooked.
Nice.
And Pete even said, he's in the worst JoJo arc and he's already hooked?
No, but it's the worst only because it's the most un-JoJo part.
Okay.
Because one thing about JoJo is, and as you get later on, it's like this part is very much about I'm stronger than you. But later JoJo is never I'm stronger than you. Later JoJo is I'm smarter than you. Okay. It all becomes battles of the mental kind. So
okay, I'll give this back to you, and I'll watch part 2 when I get it, when I order it.
Sounds good.
Is it purchasable like just in a store, or is it just like online only?
I'd say JoJo's big enough that it's probably purchasable in a store. You might be able to find it, but I've definitely seen it at Walmart. But at the same time, it's still an anime DVD, and those are a bit rarer in the end. But yeah, this you can't get anymore because it was botched by Warner Brothers. Actually, they were the ones who made this, and it was like people hated this DVD so much. Also because the subtitle track is the subtitles to the dub, and not the subtitles of the Japanese version. So meaning you're getting all the English isms put into the Japanese version, when if people wanted the subs, they would watch the actual, like, what they're saying in Japanese.
Okay.
Because for dubs, they have to change what they say. That's the only way English works. They can't do a word for word, right? So as such, like, that was another thing. So that's one thing with I think the Blu-rays have both, like, English sub and Japanese sub to show the differences between the two. But
yeah, it looks like it comes with like an art book almost.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, because like that's because these ones cards. Are the ones from Japan that they bring over now instead of having America produce their own, pretty much.
Cool. Yeah, sure.
All right.
Next foreign exchange.
So I was gonna give you JoJo Part 2.
Okay.
But that's fine. I have a backup. Because if you're going to get it on your own, I'll wait till you get the Blu-ray. Because there's one major thing that they change in the Blu-ray version of it. There's one character who is the hammiest character ever. That for the initial English version, they played completely straight. And like he's just a normal guy instead of being like this screaming insane man in Japanese. Mm-hmm. So when they redubbed it, they fixed it and made him a crazy screaming guy in the English too. Okay. So that's something that I'd say like, yeah, wait for that because that makes it worth it. But I do have a backup and I'm going to get it. Probably something you won't love as much. And now this is a PS4 game, so you will be able to stream it. Cool. And it is something that I've talked about quite a bit.
Okay.
So you will get to see it.
Is it an anime game?
Kind of.
Is it Digimon?
It is.
Okay.
So it is Digimon Persona. So this game, again, I talked about how the hacker's memory is like a weird side story. So this is the original.
Okay.
Also, this game was taken off of PSN for unknown reasons, so it's kind of rare now. So that's kind of cool. But this game is basically a Persona game. So I think you'll enjoy at least that aspect of it, kind of.
Okay.
But I'm looking forward to you streaming it. Probably we'll have Beat in there making fun of it because he hates Digimon for some reason. But no, it also contrasts nicely with you playing Pokemon at the same time. Because I want you to think, at one point, these two series were regarded as being rivals to each other that were very similar. And take a look at the different paths they followed. Because Pokemon went one way, and this went a very different way. Okay. So I want you to notice that this is a game rated T for teen, for one. Arguably could have been rated M.
Suggestive themes.
Oh, yes. Arguably could have been rated M for mature.
Okay. Cool.
But yes. So I look forward to you seeing streaming that. Okay. And for those of you at home, you can also watch a full playthrough I did on YouTube. It was really good.
Okay, so
this is epic.
It's both. I have two options for you.
Okay,
they're both shooters. They're not like traditional like Call of Duty shooters though.
Okay.
One's a third person, one's a first person.
See, I would normally jump right onto the third person, but part of me also wants to try new things. So I kind of almost want to try another first person shooter.
Okay, so first person?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. The one I want you, it's a trilogy of games in a collection. and I want you to play the third one.
Okay, that's weird, but sure.
It's the first two are part of the same kind of story,
Okay.
but the third one is a new story. But you're not going to get far enough for it to wrap around to the
Oh,
original
yeah,
story.
yeah, that makes sense.
So, any guesses?
Okay, is it on PS4?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, because my first thought was going Gears of War.
No, definitely not.
And I was very confused. First person. What's it called? Okay, I'm gonna. I Resistance.
Nope.
What's the other one that's like Resistance that I always get mixed up with it?
It's not Resistance. It's not anything like Resistance.
No, the one with
Killzone, you mean?
the one with no, but it's similar. They're always together with the PlayStation All Stars. It's similar.
Oh yeah, you're getting there.
Warzone? What's it called? The one with the Hellgast.
Killzone. That's what I said.
Killzone.
It's not Killzone.
It's not Killzone.
No.
No, he said it's not Resistance.
It's not Resistance or Killzone.
Okay, those games I get. Okay, but I was on the right track with PlayStation All Stars.
Yes.
Okay. Ape Escape.
No.
Is there any others?
Yeah, there is.
Is this spooky game?
Um.
Okay, so it's not Dead Space.
No.
Okay.
No.
What other shooter is there in PlayStation All Stars?
It's not a traditional first-person shooter. It's more. Well, I guess the third one is more. But it's not like. It's so based on story, more than the shooting.
What are you talking about then? Okay, is the character one of the playable characters in PlayStation All Stars?
Yes.
What are you talking about then?
It's so obvious. Just picture the character select screen in your mind.
Okay, wait. Are you talking about BioShock?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to play Infinite.
Infinite, all
Did
right.
you play any BioShock games?
So long ago I watched a full playthrough of BioShock Infinite. Long ago.
Okay, what about
though.
the first one?
Yes. And I also know how it ties into BioShock 1.
Do you know how to... Have you played BioShock 1?
No.
But do you know what it's like? When was the last time you, like, refreshed yourself on it, you know? Like, watch a playthrough.
A BioShock 1. I've never actually watched a full playthrough of BioShock 1.
Okay, play BioShock 1 then.
Okay.
Don't play Infinite.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm actually more interested in BioShock 1.
Yeah, do one. Because
Okay.
it's the best one out of the trilogy.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, for sure.
Not objectively, but, like...
No, but that's what I've heard from everyone.
I preferably like the third one better, but
Yeah.
it's built upon this first and second one.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I'll definitely take a look at that.
Yep.
For sure. I actually own BioShock 1.
Oh.
It came with my PS3.
Oh, now you have a PS4 version.
Now I have a version on something... I mean, on my Xbox 360. But now I have something that I'll actually play it on.
Yep.
That's a cool cover, actually.
It is.
And I mean, I know what it's about, so that's cool. Like the lighthouse and I've watched that much of it.
But it's the playing of it that's...
Yeah, but it's the playing for sure. And yeah, like I've not actually watched anything about
Play
BioShock.
with lights out.
Really?
Yeah. It's not it's
It's
kind
not.
of a...
It's a little. Yeah, it's a little.
But like the lights off, it adds to the atmosphere.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
this game's all about atmosphere.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, sounds good.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
Next week we have BioShock Cross Digimon.
Yes.
Sure.
Cool.
All right.
All right, now we got some
Yes.
lists.
And I've came prepared, kind of, because movies, I didn't watch as many as you, I think.
I didn't watch many this year too. I'll just have to pull it up here.
All right. So yes, we are looking at our top 3 movies of 2018.
You want to go first?
Sure. Number 3 for me was Isle of Dogs.
Oh, okay.
I really liked it.
Yeah, I remember.
I think we talked about it on the podcast, didn't we?
A little bit, yes.
A little bit, yeah. It was really good. It's Wes Anderson. It's his best stop motion film, 100%. It was very heartfelt. There are criticisms with how it handled certain characters, I know. Mm-hmm. But hey, you know what? I enjoyed it, and that's important.
Cool. Number 3 for me, Mission Impossible Fallout.
I've not seen it, but I've heard people say it's pretty good.
It is really good.
Nice.
It's like it's like Fast and Furious. The more it goes, the better it gets.
Yeah, well, like literally, they're just funded because Tom Cruise wants to do crazy stunts, and he has all that Scientology money, so he can do what he wants.
And some of the stunts in this movie are like insane.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the final battle between Henry Cavill and him.
Oh, that was the mustache, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's just so off the wall, but it's so enjoyable. Yeah, it's really good. Again, we're not as much movie buffs as we are video game buffs.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well,
I don't have much to say.
I'm more likely to watch like just an old movie randomly than like watch something, aside from a couple. Like I don't rush out to theaters very often. No. Number 2 for me was Infinity War.
Same for me.
Hey, there we go. We've talked a lot about Infinity War.
Man, like
but I watched it again last night and I was just like, I felt the same way, which is like, it's a crazy movie that does not adhere to the 3-act structure at all. It's again, Thanos is the protagonist. You're following his journey. At times it feels like you're watching 3 different films at once where like, you'll be in space, you'll be in, in Scotland, you'll be in like Wakanda, and every section feels different until they combine it.
And then it all like it swirls into nice.
It swirls. It's a 3-pronged swirl that goes into one.
Yeah,
yeah.
That all have their own like 3-act structure and.
Oh yeah, for sure. So it's crazy.
Yeah, just how it feels so different from the other MC movies.
From any film.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're watching this, and it, like, even, like, again, I was watching it with my mom, and she's just like, this is weird. Like, things are happening, and they're just, like, it works, but it's weird, right? So,
it's not a hopeful movie at all.
No, God, no.
No, it's like...
We came away depressed again.
That's why I like it so much.
Yeah,
it's
it's really good.
It's so unconventional in the MCU.
No,
just this movie
as a film. Yeah. As a film in general.
And that's what makes it so good.
Yeah.
So, Endgame can't get here soon enough.
No, for sure. Oh, God. When I heard Doctor Strange go, we're into the end game now, I'm like, oh, that's where it's said, huh? Just outright said, huh? Okay.
Cool.
My number 1 was Spider-Verse.
Same.
Yep. That one for me is a little personal also, because I feel like, and it sucks because that film's not doing as hot as I wanted. Like number-wise, it's not. But it's just like that idea of there's people who watch it and go, wow, like this is what animation can do. But then there's people who are not watching it because they say it's a cartoon. And I hate that. And I feel like we need to get out of that age of it's a cartoon, so it's for kids. Or,
or it's a cartoon, it was easier to make or something like that.
Yeah, right? Like there's so many cool things here that there's details and there's so much put into it. I saw a thing about why the one scene where they're running out of the lab. And it's like the scene is running... And they are running at a different frame rate from the rest of the scene, but they are on alternating frames from each other. And that's why it looks so good, is because Miles and Peter are running on different frames from each other. So you will see one one move a frame, and then they'll be still for a frame, and then in that frame the other character moves, and that's why it looks so good. It's because they're playing off the frames of each other.
That's so cool.
And so the film is still moving in the frame rate, but they're on 2s, they're not on 1s, meaning that they're moving every 2 frames, where the whole scene's moving at 1 frame a second, or not 1 frame a second, that'd be super slow, but 1 frame at a time. But because they're on different frames from each other, it looks so cool. And like you're learning this stuff, and they released the whole script.
Yeah,
you can read the whole script, and it even says word for word. Peter's doing the dance from Spider-Man 3, which is horrible. It's written in the script.
That's so
right?
good,
and it's great. It's so good.
Just like the twists and the turns and the characters and like
go see it.
Like
go see it.
This movie needs
money.
And
the best part is the creator said, "Look, if this movie makes $200 million in box office, we will put in Japanese Spider-Man into the sequel," and it made it. Japanese Spider-Man.
Oh yeah,
right? The emissary of hell, Spider-Man, with Leopardon, the giant. So I don't know if you know this. That Spider-Man like Japanese thing was what made Kamen Rider.
Really?
Because they looked at that and they said, "Oh God, that's so cool," but they can't do anymore because Marvel got rid of the license. Mm-hmm. So instead of a Spider-Man, they made Kamen Rider a Beetle type one to go against Spider-Man, right?
That's cool.
It's so good. So Spider-Man influenced the creation of Kamen Rider and Power Rangers. That's
Wow. But yeah, day one Blu-ray release. There's some sort of special edition I'm getting. I need to support this movie as much as I can.
Yeah, for sure.
Best Spider-Man movie I've ever
I think
seen.
the special features are going to be cool too.
Yeah.
Going into like all the tech, because they made a program to make this movie, right? Mm-hmm. And every clickbait article saying that they're trying to patent the movie techniques, and they're like, no. They made a program and they want to claim ownership of it so other people can use it, but it's still theirs. Like, come on, guys. I hate that.
Stop. But yeah.
And the all-female sequel's happening, so that's going to be awesome. Hopefully we see some more just out of nowhere I still want Mangaverse Spider-Woman. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have.
It's ridiculous.
And terrible.
In a good way. In a bad way. In a way that's so bad it's good.
Yeah, but yeah.
All right, now we're going to move on to our top 5 most anticipated games of 2019.
Coming full circle, because the first thing we did in a first podcast of Sherbert Land.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow, going back to that would sure be awkward now, because there's probably stuff that's not even out yet for me. Okay.
All right.
Let's start with you this time.
Sure. Honorable mention, P5R.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know if it's going to come out in America this year, though. We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Anything Persona 5 related.
Yeah, for sure.
But number 5, there isn't much. I looked through a list of upcoming games.
Oh, I put out a whole tweet with a bunch of them.
Not a ton for me.
Yeah, for me it's a lot
maybe
more.
I forgot some. Crash Team Racing, the remake.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, it's
July.
looking better than Team Sonic Racing, that's for sure. Yikers.
I played the original a lot. Again, there's like those blind spots in my head, but I remember distinct parts of that game.
Oh, yeah.
Like the hub area, some of the maps, the music. So I'm excited to go back. I'm probably going to get an PS4, even though it's coming to the Switch.
Because it's Crash.
It's Crash. It's got to be on the PlayStation, you know?
Plus, well, then again, on the Switch you can do multiplayer wherever you want with people, but that is,
but again, I don't use my Switch I don't go out with the Switch very often.
Fair enough, yeah.
So what's number 5 for you?
Jump Force. Because it looks like a delicious anime crossover trash. Like the one thing that I saw recently for it that just made me scream was the Wendy's roast day Twitter thing. So like they randomly tweeted at like Bando. Namco Bandai tweeted at them saying like, "Hey, what's up?" And then they're like, the Wendy's store is like, "We thought we were excited for some Jump Force news when you were in our notifications." And then Namco Bandai's Twitter makes the Wendy's girl in the Jump Force character creator, and then the Wendy's Twitter's like, it's so good. So it's just craziness. But that game's it might not even be good, but it's just like, I love crossover shenanigans, so I love it so much.
That's why it's like people don't like Hyrule Warriors the game.
Yeah.
They're like, if I gotta play, what's your face? I gotta play like a Warriors game on the Switch. It's like, oh, go for Fire Emblem. I'm like, no, play Hyrule Warriors. But it's just because it's like, it's so, I don't know how to describe it.
It's so cool seeing things come together. It's as simple as that.
Things I love so much, right? So
for sure,
that type of thing. Anything else with Jump Force?
Nope.
No. Is it going to be online fighting too?
Oh yeah, well it's using the thing where it's like the lobby system from Fighter Z where it's like you're dropped into a lobby with a bunch of people.
Like that?
It's that, but with like full 3D everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool. All right, anything else?
Nope.
No. Okay, number 4 for me, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
Oh yeah, that game's coming out way sooner than I thought.
March, yeah, just coming out of nowhere.
Right? Like we haven't heard super much about it, but it's
I'm just looking forward to another unique take of gameplay from Soft.
When they have 2 more unannounced game apparently, so we're gonna have to see what those are.
I want to dive into this one because when I played Bloodborne, I played it long after it came out.
Yeah.
So like that lore and like diving into it, I didn't do much, but like I'm looking forward to doing it with Sekiro.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, hey, and they apparently might be tied to each other.
Yeah. So.
What with the hints of the Japan land in Bloodborne there, so be interesting for sure.
Yeah, I'm
find that
looking forward to
Moonlight Greatsword and whatever.
Yeah,
it's got to be. It's in every From Software game, including a Metal Wolf Chaos. It's in there too.
Oh yeah, that game's coming out this year too.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, number 4 for me is Bloodstained, the full version of it. It's just like, man, I love Symphony of the Night, and this is just Symphony of the Night with cute girls. So it's like way better. But it's like, it's one of those things where I've been following the Kickstarter updates. They got the Shantae team in to help with like polish it up.
Is that like a bad sign?
No, not at all.
No?
Because they work together all the time. They've done
Okay.
stuff together, and so they're just like, yeah, like we're just getting them in to get, because they said like we're good with like a lot of kind of expansive worlds, but we're not good making kind of straightforward, streamlined levels. So then they brought in that team to be like to just talk about like, oh yeah, place the enemies here, it works better. So getting in another team, I don't think is a bad thing at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else on Bloodstained?
Well, that one's supposed to like the main game's coming out this year, but then that's going to be a Shovel Knight thing where it's going to get extra stuff for years and years. So
Oh yeah, King of Crows coming out this year too.
Oh yeah, right. I always forget about that.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be cool to see that series end. And you still haven't played Plague of Shadows.
So I'll play both of them when the King Knight comes out.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. All right. So number 3 for me, we don't know much about it, but it's already up there. Luigi's Mansion 3.
Really?
I love the Luigi's Mansion.
I don't know. I don't know.
like,
I still need to get confirmation that it's more like 1 than 2. I just don't want it to be mission based in different sort of
my
locations.
thought is that it's going back to the first one. That's why it's so high.
I need confirmation. I don't know, man. I need that.
Just another Luigi's Mansion game on the Switch. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
We'll see.
like think of how long it took between 1 and 2 to come out.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm looking
We'll
forward
see.
to it.
We'll see.
Cool.
Okay. Number 3 for me is Devil May Cry 5.
Really, only 3.
Yeah. Well, it's because, I mean, I'm not as into Devil May Cry as I kind of make it out to be. Like, I love it in theory, but like I'm playing 3 for the first time, and I'm like, boy, this is hard. I do hope they take a lot of lessons. Well, because like one thing that is kind of crazy, people don't know. Well, I mean, aside from fans, the creator of Devil May Cry loved DMC. He said it's one of his favorites.
Really?
Because he says like some of the like not for the story, but for the gameplay, he says like some really good stuff there. Now when they went back and Capcom helped them with the special edition on PS4, you can see like, yeah, like they put it together to make something much better. But they're taking the best parts of DMC and putting them into baseline Devil May Cry. So like that's where it's going to be like, I think it's going to work out really well, because a lot of the problems with early DMC is that it is based on a PS2 game. And the PS2 has limitations with camera and, you know, even like the muddiness of it. I think DMC5 looks awesome.
It does look really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. When does that come out again? What month?
Let me take a look. I downloaded an app on my phone that has my time until. Let's see here. It is. It's coming out in March.
March. Okay.
Yeah, March 8th.
March is going to be a big month.
Dude, there's 2 games coming out a month for every like major, like there's 2 major releases a month for me for the first 3 months.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So number 2 and number 1 are interchangeable.
Really? Okay.
One because I don't have much like history with one, and one because I have a lot of history with one, but I know less about it.
Okay.
So number 2, I think just because we don't know much about it yet, but it could also be number 1 because I love the series, is Animal Crossing on Switch.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
I
do want to see a bit
worried
before.
about it. I am a bit worried.
I mean, because I still enjoyed New Leaf, but I think out of all of them, New Leaf was the one I think was.
Really?
I had problems with New Leaf.
New Leaf's like a perfect game for me.
It's just it's the way that you can't ask animals to like there and this is the thing, there wasn't enough dialogue, and mind you, in vanilla New Leaf, the Welcome Amiibo update added a lot of new dialogue and added a lot more content. Like it was a big update. But in the original one, I remember talking to animals, and within the first week, I've seen every dialogue with random animals. So I remember like Animal Crossing GameCube and Wii and DS, it was like you would find new stuff all the time.
Like dialogue, I know it's a huge part of the series, but it's like it's kind of a number 2 for me. Number 1 is like the creating and like making a home.
Guess. Yeah, for sure.
And like building a town and with your
also
animals.
They were way too nice.
I mean, like
the Animal Crossing NPCs in the original started
but
off,
that makes more room
actually treating you as like a stranger, and if you're mean to them on the first talking to them, that's it. They hate you forever now. And like they were brutal in the original. And I like that because it led itself to just a more realistic Animal Crossing world. I don't know. I liked the idea of it being way less forgiving, you know? I don't know. That's what I liked.
But going back to the Switch version, I just hope it just builds upon New Leaf and like adds huge like I want just more quality of life stuff, you know? Like maybe be able to like have a job. Something like that.
Yeah.
Like build, have more freedom to build places, you know? Mm-hmm. Have more buildings to build. Of course, a ton of more animals. Bring all the other ones old, like make it Animal Crossing Ultimate.
They usually do bring almost all the animals back.
Yeah. Maybe do something, maybe just this is on the Switch. So like they can make it massive.
Well, because I saw a thing today on the Animal Crossing subreddit, people asking like, are we going to get the rolling hill camera back? And at first,
I think they should leave that behind. I think they should.
And so I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I'd be totally fine if they went to a full 3D Animal Crossing of like you can just move the camera, right? Like you can look around. I think that's the next step. Like a full, like not even the roll, like
yeah, not top down, but like
what kind of
would the camera be shifted down
a little bit more shifted down, but like you can move. I want it to be full 3D looking around everything. Less top down.
I'd like that.
Right?
It would be a very.
I think it's about time for at least like I'm not saying I don't want it to be Breath of the Wild.
Okay, because that's what I was thinking. Like,
no, what I want it to just be is just a wider range of the camera.
Okay.
Not necessarily as locked in place.
Okay.
And you know what? I'd say give the villager a jump button.
Oh man.
Even if it's not used a lot, but just for small amounts of things, right? Like maybe jumping over maybe a rock or jumping over a tree stump. Or maybe there'll be tiny little like, you know, jumping off of like, you know, the little like not hills, but like tiny cliffs that you can like something, right? But I feel like enhancing the amount of
and like
movement.
I can like with the camera shift that also comes with the change in movement.
Yeah.
And I can really feel like, in my mind that it would be like a lot more snappy.
Yeah.
Because like in New Leaf, it's not you don't turn immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. No, for sure.
And like if they could like get everything in one area without any loading, I think I like that too.
I'd even be fine with loading if
vehicles. What's your take on vehicles?
I don't
like it wouldn't be like you can't drive over animals.
I don't see the purpose if it stays in the small town aesthetic because you can walk everywhere very easily. Now, if they change it up to be maybe people are further apart from each other, or maybe it's more of a city-like thing. Maybe.
I don't want city. I want it to stick with like the town feeling.
Okay.
But maybe there would be like a city aspect.
Who knows?
It's just
there's so many different ways it can go, though. That's the thing.
That's why I'm worried about it. I don't want them to take the wrong way.
But I feel like at this point, because you can go back and play the old Animal Crossings, and they're still there. So I'd be fine as long as like the core gameplay is there.
Yeah,
I'd be fine with one change to it that maybe, you know what, I could see it being like choose your town type. Maybe you could have classic type. You can have a village that's like you know, maybe on the water.
Oh, like different environments.
Yeah, different environments. You know, like maybe your whole thing's an island. Maybe yours is more city-like. There's tall buildings everywhere with parks, or in the mountains, right? So I feel like that's the way to go. That just changes it up kind of sideways and not necessarily, you know, or maybe sideways forward. I don't know. We'll have to see. We don't know.
It's literally up in the air.
Yep.
Do you think we're going to... We didn't talk about this potential January Direct, but...
I think we will, but I think it'll probably be another thing of it we'll learn the day before.
What do you mean?
Like, we'll learn the day before.
Oh, okay.
Like it'll be like it'll be January 9th, and they'll be like, hi, by the way, there's a Direct tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. There's one this month. It's happening.
I think so, yeah.
It's happened, like, for the past 5...
Well, we gotta get the info about how we're gonna get Piranha Plant.
Yeah, and just, like, knowing what... Because, like, if you think about it, we don't know much Nintendo games coming out.
Not right away. We know some far off in the future, but none right away.
Yeah, we need dates. Like
Yeah.
we need dates for the Kirby Epic Yarn on 3DS. We need like
Yoshi. And Metroid and Bayonetta and... Well, I mean, but those we need updates on. It's been a year since Bayonetta 3 was announced.
That's fair.
Like, because it was at not the last Game Awards, but the Game Awards before that. So...
Where are you, Bayonetta?
I mean, well, we know it's being made, but we don't know, so yeah. So, definitely.
Yeah. Cool. And that's for Animal Crossing.
Okay. My number 2 is Indivisible.
Ah.
So, I think that was on my list last year, but they just announced, they're like, yeah, like, we need more time to polish it up. And, like, hey, again, that's fine. And again, it's going for the Shovel Knight approach of base game with more later. But it's just, but the difference is this one is because the base game is definitely going to be way more story-driven. And that's what I'm looking forward to, because I love Lab Zero stuff. They're so good. And like even like the small amount of story in Skullgirls was so good. And so like there was a world built there, right? So for them to go from a fighting game, which really the scope and scale of a fighting game is very different to that of a full action game, right? So for them to go to that, it's going to be really cool. And I love the gameplay system of it being it's an RPG with fighting game combos. So it's like, it's you can set characters to go off of each other, and the idea of it's every face button is a different character, and the direction plus the face button is their attacks. So there's some cool stuff there. I'm just really looking forward to seeing that fully realized. And like, yeah, demo I played, it's cool. Cool. And so I think it's going to be a fun game to play on all the systems I'm getting it on.
How many are you getting on?
3.
Why?
I really wanted them to get some of the stretch goals, but it was a thing where it's like the initial like pledge, and then I added more and more, and it's like, oh, I like they're like $500 away from the next stretch goal. I'll buy another version of it. So I have a couple, so I might just end up giving you one.
Okay, sure.
Because I'm getting it on Switch, I'm getting it on PS4, and I'm getting it on PC. So it's like, yeah, I might just end up giving you one of them.
Okay, sounds good.
Yes. Not much else to say about that other than, boy, that's going to be fun.
Okay. So our number one's the same, like as last year?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm actually 90% sure it's not.
Okay, because mine...
Unless you've secretly been playing this series in your spare time.
No, probably not.
Probably not.
So again, this number one, number two can interchange.
Okay.
But number one is coming out soon. Oh yeah, I know your number one. Never mind. My number one is Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Okay, yeah.
The stuff I've seen from it, it looks phenomenal.
Oh, it looks awesome.
Wise.
Oh yeah.
After 7, like I just want more of this series.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like the clip that stands out most for me in my head is the one where the guy in the mask and the black robes,
Mr. X,
he like pushes the zombie out of the way.
Yep.
Just how like the AI works in this game. It's gonna be insane, and I'm really looking forward to like playing that.
That's gonna be fun. Yeah, for sure.
Can't wait for that. And it's coming out this month.
Yep.
All right.
Something else that's coming out this month for me, my number one game we've waited 11 years for.
How could I forget?
It's because it's actually a 2018 game, because we're in the 13th month of 2018, and that is Kingdom Hearts 3. Boy, it's been a long time coming, and it's like, and the fact that there's a version, like someone has it already, and there's like leaks of it on the internet, and it's like, but there's some people who are so mad about that, me included. But then we thought to ourselves, wait, it exists. It's out there, and it exists.
Yeah.
It's like, for a lot of us, this is a big moment. That game is just gonna be something else, finishing up this saga that's been going on for years, right? Mm-hmm. And it's to a point where I like the ending, like the latest trailer has so much in it that I watched it and my brain could not comprehend it.
And you didn't watch it again.
And I didn't watch it again.
Yeah.
I'm like, someone could analyze that and get so much out of it, but I'm at a point where I'm like, no, I'm fine. Like, I watched it, you got me. I want to know. Like, I want to play it. So I'm so excited to see just how
everything ends,
how it all ends, and the fact that then they're like, we know you're worried that the game is out there, but we'll let you know right now. the epilogue is not on the disc. And I'm like, I've never been so happy that it's not done. So, but like, that's a good way to handle it. Of like, even if it gets out, because like the ending of the game is there, but that doesn't matter as much as what happens after the ending, right? It's like a Marvel film.
Yes.
Like, you know, the Ant-Man's gonna kill the Yellow Jacket, but it's what happens after that you're like, what? So it's gonna be a situation of, because they already said, Sora's adventure's not done. But this is the end of this villain's saga, so it's like it's gonna be big.
And in 10 years, you'll get Kingdom Hearts 4.
No, because we're already gonna wait another 7 for Final Fantasy 7 remake. Remember that would be on my list of this year, but it's not coming out this year.
But if Bayonetta 3 was like confirmed out this year, I'd put it on my list.
I can see Bayonetta 3 being a late 2018 game. Because here's the thing, those games are like Bayonetta is short. They're not long games. They're
just
jam-packed and dense, but they're not long games.
That's fair.
So that's why I think it can come out in 2018, because they can just say like, hey, they're going to probably do another Bayonetta Direct and be like, hey, this is, you know, some of our features. We're bringing back multiplayer mode. You know, here's the characters. Here's the stuff. It's coming out, you know, fairly soon, because those games are short.
Or it could be an E3 thing too.
I think I beat Bayonetta 2 on stream in like 6 hours. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, yeah, if you know what you're doing. Like, yeah, they're meaty because you go through it multiple times and there's stuff to get.
I'm excited to see how her story ends.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's going to end with that.
Okay, well, the third one is like, it has not the stigma, but the expectation of being
maybe
the end. You know?
Maybe, we'll see.
Do you think this third Bayonetta will be it?
Like the end?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
It'll be a Bayonetta 4?
I think it's, yeah, well, I don't think there's any, because there's no setup for, like a lot of times the thirds.
There's no setup of a conclusion. Okay.
There's like, they usually set up a conclusion.
Yeah.
They set up the third, like Bayonetta 2.
It's done.
It finishes in a way that does set up another game.
Yes.
But it's not 3. I'm going to leave it there. Because it's ridiculous.
And that's why I'm so interested. Like, what's
so that's why I don't think it's going to be like the end of it, but it's definitely going to be something regarding it. Okay. You know, so I don't think it's going to be an ender. I think it's going to be a.
Because if you think about it, it can end.
No, it can't. No, I mean, yeah. So we'll have to see about that one, but I don't. That one I could see being late 2019, but again, the reason it's not on my list is because I don't know.
Yeah,
these are ones that I know are.
Same with Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, well, Metroid Prime again, like that's a longer game, so I think that one could be late 2018, 19, but could be next year.
Yeah, I've been thinking lately. So you know Nintendo. Okay, actually, let's just wrap up top 5 anticipated. Yeah. Are we done here?
I think so.
Yeah. So some games coming out this year. Potential to be 2017 too. I think, in my opinion.
Oh, we'll have to see.
At least with Nintendo.
Well, there's a couple real good ones coming out for other companies too. So.
Oh yeah, we barely know anything right now.
Well, so. I mean, I read the entire 2019 list, and it took me only 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
I read the entire 2019 game release list as Funky Kong.
Oh yeah,
and it took me 20 minutes. So.
Wait, you're Funky Kong?
Yep. Sorry, dude.
Oh, dude. Okay. So we're going to get into Smash DLC rumor discussion, but before that, so you know how Nintendo has an E3 dedicated to one game?
Yes.
Since Breath of the Wild? So it's been Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Smash Bros. What's it going to be this year? I'm either thinking Pokemon or Metroid.
I don't think it'll be, well, it can't be Pokemon because they're not that tied to, like Pokemon is not made by Nintendo.
Yeah, Pokemon's coming out this year.
Pokemon is owned by Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
But 33% of Pokemon is owned by Nintendo, but it's second party. It's as Nintendo as a Xenoblade is.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
So, it could either be Metroid or Metroids. If we see something about
I could see it, like the only game I could see it being is Metroid, honestly.
Because it can't be Animal Crossing. You can't.
Animal Crossing will not get people excited at E3.
No.
Like, I mean, it sucks to say, but did you see that tweet of like the e-girl starter pack?
Yeah.
And it's like Pokemon and everyone's like, those are just great games. Shut up.
But like just imagining like a Metroid E3 booth.
Yeah.
Like them doing that.
I could see that.
Like if we see Metroid Prime 4 stuff in this month's Direct, I could see it coming out this year.
Yep.
But other than that, I can't see it being anything else. I think Metroid Prime 4 is their big
and
one.
there's tons of stuff that we don't know from Nintendo.
Exactly.
They're always making.
There could be like an F-Zero game.
They always drop weird stuff. I mean, there was supposed to be that Star Fox Racing game.
Yeah.
Like, that could still be in development.
And
Where's Pikmin 4?
Yeah, that too. Where's the retro game?
Yeah, right. Retro's been working on something. Well, that was supposedly the Star Fox Racing game.
But, well, we don't know that.
Yeah.
There could be more Mario sports games. Strikers, please. Anything sports Mario related. After Aces, I'm like, give me
I'd like
something.
to see
like golf.
what Aces did, but do it for golf. Yeah.
Or not baseball.
I don't really care for baseball. I think it's fine.
Strikers.
See, I hate soccer though.
But Strikers.
I played
charged.
Strikers, but
It's so good.
I couldn't shirk the feeling of God. I hate soccer.
I used to play soccer when I was a kid.
I hate soccer.
What a Mario hockey.
It's just everyone named Mateo is just like I love soccer. My mama makes me the meatballs and we play the soccer. And it's like, sorry.
You think there's going to be any ports this year?
Oh God, yeah. The Switch is literally the port bag system. like the Wii U. People joke about them wanting ports on the Wii U, but no, people are begging for Switch ports. Whenever a game is announced, they're like, okay, but when's the Switch port?
No, I'm not meaning like I'm keeping this exclusively Nintendo right now.
No, but I even mean like they want it for everything. There was a post today on our Nintendo Switch that was like, why can't I play Mario Sunshine on my Switch? Come on, Nintendo. Like, people want him so badly, and they know that. So like, there'll be ports.
I want a 3D World port because I
don't miss that much.
I oddly enjoyed that game. The more I think
about
it,
I enjoyed it, but that's one that I think is. That one would have problems on the Switch, though.
Would it?
Yeah, because remember you have to blow into the microphone for stuff?
Oh, they could easily change that.
That would be difficult.
They could be like spin the right stick or something.
There's a lot of stuff that would make that difficult. I think that one's fine with staying a Wii U game. Like Mario Maker I want to see go forward.
Oh yeah.
But I'd be fine with Mario 3D Land or 3D World staying on the Wii U.
I want the Metroid Prime trilogy on Switch.
Oh yeah.
It kind of has to happen.
It's rumored.
Like they did it with Bayonetta.
Yeah.
So do it with Metroid.
Yep, for sure.
I'd love to play those games again.
Oh yeah.
Anything else like Nintendo related you want to see this year?
No, you kind of covered it all. Oh, and then of course we're probably going to hear because they've been advertising that they're working on the next Zelda.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see something for that.
It's been like almost 2 years since Breath of the Wild, man.
Yeah, so they've been working on something. Well, but then the DLC. So it's been about a year when you cut out the DLC there. So, but I'm sure they started pre-production of it before then. But I'd be fine with them using Breath of the Wild's engine and just working on a sequel that's a different world, same engine, the same alchemy system as they called it, how things react to each other, the open air system, but make it more traditional dungeons. Mm-hmm. You know, cut back on the mini shrines and go more for dungeons. You know,
longer than if it was coming out this year.
I don't think it's coming out this year. That's
no, it's definitely ways off still.
Yeah, but hey, we might hear about it this year. So
yeah, maybe. Cool. Okay, so
the
big thing this year is Smash DLC.
Yes.
There've been some leaks.
Yes, leaky leaks.
So we got.
So let's start with the one that is like a confirmed 100% real leak.
Is it confirmed?
No,
well, the leak.
So the actual data mined leak.
Okay.
So what we have so far is in the game data, there are 3 character stat pages for Pakun, which is the piranha plant. That's his Japanese name. For Jack, who we think is Joker. We're pretty sure.
Because Jack, mascot of
and
Persona.
you know what? And also everything else with like the fact that they got all the stats. Like runs super fast, is medium sized, can wall jump, has a flurry attack. That sounds like him. Yeah. And then finally we have Brave. Now, the best explanation I heard of Brave is that if you type in the word hero into Google Translate, you get Yasha, which is the Japanese word for hero. But if you type Yasha into Google Translate, you don't get hero back, you get brave. Okay. So you can't have Japanese in game, like in programming. All programming is done in English. So someone's putting in the character. What do we call it? He's the Dragon Quest hero, let's just say. They put hero into Google Translate in Japanese, and they get brave. Because they get yasha, which is the Japanese word for hero or brave. So a lot of people say that that's going to be a Dragon Quest hero. So some of the stuff we get from it is Brave is a medium-sized character, but he's kind of heavy. He's not light armor.
Shield.
Does not have a flurry attack. Does not wall jump. And in general is a slower, heavier hitter. So, I mean, again, some people are thinking like it could be Bravely Default. It could be, there's some other ones that people were saying. But I think if we're talking about intense overseas expansion from Square Enix.
Oh, there we go.
If we're looking at a series that has never caught on in North America, it's Dragon Quest.
It is. Yeah. Dragon
Quest in Japan is the biggest thing ever. It has changed the way games are allowed to release. The Dragon Quest law states you cannot release a game that is major on any day but a Friday, because otherwise people will miss work and then be gone for multiple days. So they get the game Friday, then they play it over the weekend. That's the Dragon Quest law in Japan. It's huge.
This also plays into the factor that this is like a bombshell.
Yeah.
Like Joker's level.
100%. Like, for North America, maybe not as much. North America popped off more for Joker, for sure.
But I could see a Fire Emblem thing happening with this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like,
for sure. And so and even the fact that Nintendo is publishing Dragon Quest 11 on Switch.
It's
and they published all the 3DS Dragon Quests. So Nintendo's tied into it.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. I've been reading a lot of manga recently.
Yes, you have.
I have been. And I was reading Naruto, and there's one part where you're at the end, it's like interview with the author. And it's going through stuff, and it's like, what was your inspiration? Dragon Quest. Huh. I was inspired by the story of the hero Loto, which in Japan we know as Erdrick. I've been inspired by this story, and I use it. I'm reading another manga. This one was Dr. Stone.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest. It's in there.
Wow.
There's a character. No, then I'm watching an anime. Reincarnated as a slime. There's a character who quotes Dragon Quest as like the main character, the slime, quotes Dragon Quest. And that is a plot point because the character goes, that's from Dragon Quest. And the main character goes, how do you know that? We're in a different world. It is so tied into their culture that it's huge.
It's surprising it's not in already.
It's bigger than Final Fantasy. 100% in Japan.
Huh. So it kind of is like obvious.
Yeah.
It's a Square Enix thing.
So, well, again, that's the guess. And the guess is that probably, because there's people saying that they fought tooth and nail for Cloud to come back in this one. Probably because Square Enix was like, yeah, we'd rather have a Dragon Quest character in this time because we're not advertising 15 anymore. So we kind of...
It's kind of like...
The
evidence stacks up.
The evidence stacks up. And there's a lot of stuff there I think will be really cool. Especially in terms... Now, mind you, there's...
how would he work? Like, so who would it be? And
so, the one that everyone is saying is the character of Erdrick from Dragon Quest 3. And they specifically mention this version here. So the one that could be either male or female, because then, of course, alternate costumes and all that. Mm-hmm. And it says that he has costumes based off, like, Dragon Quest 11 hero, like, colors. Because the Dragon Quest 11 hero is, like, silver hair and purple clothes.
Oh, okay.
Like, it works out for that, right? So a lot of people think it's that one. It could be kind of the younger version of him, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be this version of him. Also, it's basically Goku. It's basically Goku, and that would drive people crazy, and I kind of want that. But no.
Stage-wise,
okay, so they did say... So the leak that says that Erdrick is in, they do say it's Alfgard, which is the kind of location... Like it's... So it would be an overworld stage. Kind of...
like a traveling stage?
I don't think it'd be a traveling stage. I think it would be like kind of... You know when you get in a battle in an old... Okay, you know the screen where you're fighting enemies in the field in Octopath?
Yeah.
Kind of like that. It's going to be a stage that looks like a random encounter.
Huh.
So that, or they could go the crazy way and go, you go Dragon Quest battle screen. It could be something like this, where it's like like you'll be on the battle screen, right? Kind of like Duck Hunt. I could see something like that.
That'd be wild.
But or like this, where you're like in the square here fighting and enemies appear. There's different things they could do. Now one of the things that I was also thinking of, which is kind of crazy. So the place that they said is in the leak, that Alfgard is also the same place that you're in Dragon Quest Builders, which would then lead into the leak that said there's a Minecraft stage, because he probably just saw it and it's not Minecraft, it's Dragon Quest Builders. Maybe. So that's kind of how I could see it going.
Are you experienced with the music of this series? Or?
Dragon Quest music is incredibly popular. The main
that's the thing I'm most excited about this DLC.
So the main overture for Dragon Quest. So Dragon Quest music is very whimsical. It sounds like, ho, we're off on a high fantasy adventure. The main theme is super iconic. And now there is a slight problem that could become a problem. So when Dragon Quest XI came to North America, they got rid of the music of the game.
What?
So Dragon Quest XI had a huge soundtrack. And for North America, they reduced it to 5 music tracks.
Why?
So there was one for fields, one for towns, one for battle, and it's only about 5 tracks. And the reason why was because the composer of Dragon Quest XI said, if I put my music in the game, people won't come to my concerts in North America. So that's one thing. Also, every Dragon Quest game that comes out now, when you start it up, has a huge warning that says, if you stream this game to listen to music, we will sue you.
Oh my god.
So the Dragon Quest composer and music is a little rough.
They get 2 songs again?
I could see us getting not many songs. Now, at the same time, we might be in okay hands, because I don't know if you remember a certain game called
Fortune Street
on the Wii. Features Dragon Quest characters, and notably Dragon Quest music from the whole series, all remixed and in there, right? So I don't think it will be as much of a problem, because they've worked with Nintendo before for this. So maybe Nintendo will be like, don't worry, we'll pay for the licensing costs and stuff, and we'll make it so that it works better, but we'll have to see.
And it wouldn't be I can't speak today. They wouldn't lose money on it if they got the music in, because Japan, like every person in Japan is probably going to buy this DLC.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, this is something that I'm not definitely as worried about there. But yeah, and Square Enix with Fortune Street there and other things have crossed over with Nintendo so much. So much. Like it's not something unheard of at all.
Again, it's surprising it's not in there already, right?
Right. So that's what I think it is.
But it's probably because the thing you mentioned with Square Enix wanting to
well, because I
DLC
heard someone say that Square Enix loves their characters as DLC. That's why we have Noctis as DLC. That's why we have 2B as DLC. And that's why we have the Behemoth from in Monster Hunter as kind of like DLC, right? So I that's what I've heard. Is that they love their stuff being post-release DLC.
Another slice of cake on...
Right? So it's like, it works out well. Now, the guy who originally leaked this did come back then later and add a bit more onto his leak.
Yes, he did.
So,
I know them from heart, you don't have to...
I'm just going to bring it up because I want to get the actual information here. IGN. Please don't autoplay something.
It's going to. Oh, no. No mind.
Okay. No, stop! I hate you. Okay, here we go.
VG.
So, yes. The same guy who... And he did say that, hey, we are... he was the guy who said all this information and then said... the reason that, certain stuff's happening is a Grand Blue Versus, right? He said that game name before that was confirmed. So that's why there's a bit of credence, because there was no hint of Grand Blue Versus being a game until after he said it. So there's a bit there. So yes, the latest leak says that in addition
Let's go one by one.
Okay, so first up, Piranha Plant. We know him. He's coming. That's cool. Joker. We know it. He's coming. That's cool. Erdrick. We talked about him.
It's probably happening.
Probably happening. And if not Erdrick, some Dragon Quest character, right? Like, Erdrick is just being picked because he's kind of a poster... I mean, they literally call the first 3 games the Erdrick Saga, so it makes sense. Like, he's the main character of those 3 games, which, of course, are super tied with Nintendo. Yes. That's where they came out on, right? Ninja Gaiden's Ryu Hayabusa.
Again, a one I don't really...
Okay, so that's a good one in my eyes. Ninja Gaiden's a franchise that, while it has strayed from Nintendo in recent years, it's gone more towards Xbox and PlayStation, all that, was Ninja Gaiden 1 to 3 super tied with Nintendo. And definitely, if it's the reboot version of him, I'd be really excited, because he looks dope. And I saw some people say that he is not a... Like, someone said... we already have 2 ninjas, Sheik and Greninja, but we don't really have a real ninja.
Yeah, you're right.
So, like, putting in a real ninja like this, I think would be kind of cool.
It would.
And yeah, he's tied with Nintendo. He's technically a Dead or Alive character too, because he's in Dead or Alive as a fighter. Mm-hmm. Like not even as a guest character.
And I could see this character being in Smash.
And he looks like a character who could be in. Like, out of every DLC character, and of course, you can then have the classic costume, right? Like, that's the NES costume, the blue one, and then you have the modern one, right? So I'd say have modern be the default, and then classic as an alt, and boom. Like, it lines up. Ninja Gaiden music's awesome. For the stage, it'll just be a section of the stage there that, from one of the Ninja Gaiden games. Like, yeah.
I wonder how he'd make... Sakurai would make his... Just saw that picture right there.
The Ninja Turtle? Yes. Yeah. It's there.
How they make his moveset unique.
Well, Ninja Gaiden has a lot of...
Would just be like a super fast sword character?
No. There's a bunch of sub-weapons in Ninja Gaiden games. Like, I'm sure if we type in... Like, he would pretty much be... Imagine Simon Belmont, but sword-based and ninja-based.
Okay.
So,
But not as slow.
No, faster, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, if we type in power-ups, there'll be a bunch here. But yeah, Ninja Gaiden, I mean, it's known for being incredibly difficult, but he has different ninja powers, so he'd throw ninja stars. I'm going to be real, I haven't played much of the original Ninja Gaiden, so I don't know all of them off the top of my head. He would have throwing stars. He'd have the flame wheels. He would have a jump slash there. So he would have his ninja stuff. They could bring in some of his, like, in later the 3D Ninja Gaiden games become basically Devil May Cry. I don't think they bring in stuff from there, but they might bring in 1 or 2 things. But some of the important things that he'd bring in is probably the ability to wall climb. Like, he would not just cling to the walls. He could probably climb them, right? And we don't have a character based on that, right? So some stuff there, like, think about Black Panther and Marvel Infinite, like jumping onto the wall and having options off of it, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
that'd be cool.
I could see maybe he has a power that makes a wall for stages that don't have him or something, right? Like, maybe he'll do like a ground ninja art and a wall will appear. Maybe like his up smash will be causing, like, like Isabel's sign?
Yeah.
Like, put up a big wall in front of him that he could then jump off of and do stuff with, Something like that. I could see...
It could be like one of the screenshots being him, like, clinging to the Alolan executor.
Right, yeah, yeah, for sure. So he's a character that I think is not only believable, but I think he'll be in. So that's one that makes sense. Plus, it's Ninja Gaiden's 30th anniversary this year. Apparently, we're getting a new Ninja Gaiden that the leaker also said. So that one I could see.
Cool. So now...
Yep.
I kicked down the door and said, you're putting these 2 in.
Okay, right there. It says, one sec. Ryu Hayabusa's additional mark Ninja Gaiden's 30th anniversary with a new project. That may be a remaster or brand new title. So yeah, okay. But,
so the next DLC character that was leaked is, Steve from Minecraft. And honestly?
My only problem... is that there's two ways they handle it for how he looks. Either he looks like he's animated in Minecraft and his arms and legs are stiff and it looks horrible in game, or
I don't think they look horrible. I think it look
they
unique.
give him fluid animations.
No, I hated that.
And it make it look like a Minecraft YouTube like song parody.
We've talked about this before, but I think it should be the original. I think they can make it work. Just make it unique. Make it faithful.
What is A button just be like the punch?
Yeah.
Just over and over?
With the mine. No, with the pickaxe.
I hate it.
But like the stage,
No.
unique.
No. The stage, I think, will be interesting.
Yeah.
The stage will be interesting. Also, okay, can I just say, him having a Master Chief alternate skin is just... I'd rather have Master Chief himself. Who I know has no tie to Nintendo, aside from Microsoft once making a demo for Halo DS that got cancelled, but then released so you can actually play Halo on the DS that exists. But I just don't know.
It's the Xbox thing. Like you think, like Xbox
Joe
owns
is dead.
Xbox Minecraft. It's like Minecraft's bigger than Halo. I think it's a bigger money.
Oh no. So like, if we're being serious here,
we weren't before.
Like, well, no, I mean, Minecraft is huge, and I cannot deny how influential it is on games. 100%. I mean, to have Dragon Quest make a rip-off of it, like, yeah. And I understand that. But it doesn't mean I have to like Steve as a character.
But, I don't know, man. It could work. What would his Final Smash be?
Ender Dragon.
Not Ender Dragon, maybe like a creeper thing.
We'll see.
I don't know, man. I like looking back on Minecraft. It's a good game. It's really enjoyable. I have a lot of nostalgia for it.
Okay, I full disclosure, Minecraft gives me a massive headache.
I don't know, man. I love it.
It just no. I'm serious. It gives me a headache. That is a physical reaction of my body.
Why?
It's the first person with the blocky.
I guess. You know what else is first person?
So this one I'm definitely better with now than I was when I first heard it.
Okay. Doom guy.
Oh
my god, dude.
So, okay, so I think for me, the reason I was really salty was because it was the fact that it was Doom Guy and Steve, two characters I don't care. Well, I'm not going to say any, but two characters that aren't my picks. The fact that I was like, half the season pass is characters I don't care about.
That's not half. It's less than half.
It's less than half because 5 can't be divided by,
yeah.
But either way, I was like, oh man, I just don't. But no, Doom Guy, I think,
if you think about
over time, my only concern and my only problem is, and I still agree, and people have tried to tell me that I'm wrong, but I still agree. I don't think Doom Guy's tone fits Smash Bros. And people say, but what about Snake and Bayonetta? But to that I say...
Castlevania.
Castlevania's rated... Castlevania's fine. Castlevania's
rated...
you're
talking about M-rated.
Yeah, but like... A character whose main, most famous quote is "Rip and Tear" and is seen covered
but he's not going to say "Rip and Tear"
the viscera of enemies. A character who presses a button and rips a dude apart from 30 different ways depending on what direction you're facing.
That doesn't need to be in the game.
But I feel like, could a character of such brutality be faithfully recreated in Smash Bros? Because say what you will about Bayonetta and Snake.
Yeah.
And I heard someone say that Metal Gear is more violent than Doom.
No.
And I'm like, what are you talking about, you massive liar? But, and like, they tone down how naked Bayonetta gets when she does her stuff. Like, that's fair. She's still represented well. But I just feel like there's something about Doom's entire core concept of a dude going through hell with like flesh and blood everywhere.
I don't think
ripping dudes apart.
Stage wouldn't be hell. It would be the UAC. It wouldn't be in hell because that's way too bad.
Right? But
I could see demons running around the UAC.
But they have to skirt around stuff.
But I mean, if anyone can do it, it's Sakurai can. I
guess. I need to see how they handle him.
Could you imagine the music?
No, let me tell you, the music would be the dopest thing ever. Like, I will never hate on Mick Gordon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, his stuff's so good. It's
Like
powerful.
Mario in that stage, like
But I just
Kirby.
I do want to see how they handle him. The idea of them adding the Doom 64 skin is pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that.
because Doom 64 is such a big part of Nintendo's.
Oh, well, I mean, Doom was even on the SNES. Like, it was there. Like, no, I mean, and again, I won't deny that, like, again, we got a character who represent the granddaddy of first-person shooters. You know, tied with Nintendo for being a very violent game, you know, and sometimes
And Doom's on the Switch.
Doom's on the Switch. Doom Eternal's coming to the Switch. It makes sense, but I can't help shake the feeling of I need to see it before I get for or against it.
I think like his moveset would be really cool. And his final smash.
I mean, what I will say is
final smash going to the first person and like blow him away.
We don't actually have
Concrete.
a true FPS character.
We don't.
Like we don't have a Radek.
No.
Like Colonel Radek in PlayStation All Stars is one of the most unique characters because he's a character based around. Yeah, he's from gun shooting game, but how do you use those for different ways, right? So I think that'd be really interesting to see how they handle him with that.
They can pull it off well with Radek. They can pull it off well with Doom Guy.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and Radek even had an extra whole button to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
exactly.
So I think there'd be some interesting stuff there. So
if this happens this year,
it'd be big. And so
again, like Japan got their massive thing. West could get.
Would we say okay, you know what? Minecraft as a and especially
Minecraft would be,
especially if this is being done for because I mean obviously people say, well, why not Fortnite, because it's the big thing now, but I feel like Fortnite is a flash in the pan. It's going to go away.
It is.
Like Minecraft, I think is going to be for a long time.
Battle Royale genre can't last forever.
It's not. I mean, a genre based on multiplayer will die.
But like the most like insanely creative game with like just influence everywhere.
Yep.
It makes more sense.
Yeah, it does. So I don't love Steve in there, and I've grown to be okay with Doom Guy a bit, but I still want to see him. But overall,
we got Joker. We got.
Oh god, we have Joker. Yeah,
that's
Joker.
It's like when you think back to that, you know, like
Ryu Hayabusa are all three really good picks for me.
Yeah,
like those are even Piranha Plant. I love Piranha Plant. He's so weird.
I remember.
He's so weird.
Remember when you hated
I hated him, but now I love him. He's a chompy boy.
He's coming out next month.
Isn't it this month?
No, next month. February.
Okay.
Probably February, like mid-February.
So we'll see. We shall see how that goes.
Meat costumes. We got the confirmation of that.
Yep, 45 cents each. Well,
75.
70. Well, yeah, for here, yeah.
Yeah.
I do hope we get some of them back from the.
I think we will.
One.
I don't think Sakurai will be like.
Yeah,
they're gone.
I mean, like, I'm surprised they got rid of the Monster Hunter ones, unless they got rid of them to then redesign them to fit more with like World, because the ones in are from 4. Yeah. So then to put in, hey, Monster Hunter Iceborne's coming out. Check out these costumes from Iceborne that we're putting in Smash.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And put in the third-party ones. Put like the Mega Mans back in there, and
yeah, the Mega Mans need to come back.
The Sonic costumes.
Yeah, right, those are gone. Yeah,
the weird third-party ones like the
Lloyd and
that dragon guy. Was it blue armor with the horns?
Oh, Tara Draga.
Yeah. Like just put them back in. Like,
yeah,
not,
for
right?
sure.
New ones, like I want to see Metal Gear meat costumes, man.
Yeah, no, Metal Gear ones would be fun. I know I was joking about
Bayonetta,
I don't think it'll happen, but I'd love to see costumes based off like the PS1 models for Final Fantasy VII. Like imagine like Barrett as a gunner with his gun arm,
cool.
and like Tifa as a brawler. Like those would be dope. And then to put Sephiroth as a sword fighter with a chipped sword, right, to make it smaller. I think those would work well. We'll have to see.
We might even see them in this direct coming up.
Yeah, for sure. I could see them being like a Smash Brothers update. Which
you think they'll be coming in waves, like Smash 4. Or be like here's some. I
think it'll be a slower, steadier stream instead.
You think there's going to be meat costumes off the DLC fighters, or it's just going to be the DLC fighters?
I don't think they're going to come as a set anymore. I think they're just going to come whenever.
But you think we're going to get like a Ryuji meat costume or something?
No. I think we'll get spirits with them.
You know, well, we got costumes from Final Fantasy. It's DLC.
Oh, remember? You're right. Yeah, we might for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We shall see. Anyways, we're coming up on time here. It's been a lot, so let's get through some of these questions here for a Q&A. Starting off with Rob's here. Hi, Tanner and Adrian. Hope you two are having a good start of the new year. Can't wait to hear what Adrian has to say about my second favorite JoJo part. See, not everyone hates it. Also, Tanner, if you do make Adrian watch or read Dragon Ball, make sure he starts at the beginning. I don't know if you know this, but Dragon Ball starts off with Goku as a kid.
Huh.
Like, Dragon Ball Z is the second half. No one watches original Dragon Ball. Whoops, that's not how you spell it.
What are you doing?
Missing the keys. Original Dragon Ball is very different from what we got now. The original Dragon Ball is young Goku going on very, very different adventures. Like, it's not... Yeah, so he says start with Dragon Ball, not Z.
Okay.
The first part of Dragon Ball... I know it's been a while since I've read a message, since I sent one, so I hope you enjoy these questions. Number 1. I watched Pacific Rim Uprising just a couple days ago, and it really disappointed me. I really like the first Pacific Rim. It bums me out the sequel gets rid of a lot of what I liked about the first movie. So my question is, what is a sequel of a movie, game, book, etc. that made you feel disappointed? Sequel that made me disappointed. I'm not the type to get disappointed, although I have avoided Uprising for the reason that people have said. Mm-hmm. Sequel that's disappointing.
I'm looking at your...
I know, I'm looking at my stuff, right? That's what
it's so simple.
I have such a huge amount of crap.
Is it like number 2? Or is it like just a sequel?
Because if it's just a sequel, I have a couple I can say. Like, for me, like Sonic Forces being a sequel to Generations and stuff was crap. You see, I'm usually not the type to hate sequels for being different, but there's definitely been times when I've felt disappointed in a sequel.
I'm so
there's one right at the edge of my brain. Like it's I know this exact feeling.
Is it a game?
I don't even know. I hate this. We should almost read these questions beforehand and prepare.
Yeah, we should. Maybe for next time.
Yeah, we'll hold off on that one. But we'll say, like, there's definitely been, but I can't say. It's off the top of my head.
So we'll definitely read them beforehand.
Yeah, for sure. I think we'll do that for sure.
All right.
Are there any shows you are looking forward to watching? I can't wait to see the second season of Mob Psycho 100. Can't wait to see all the amazing events from the manga animated. Yeah, it's going to be good.
Forward to watching part 2 of JoJo.
Yeah, for sure. I
mean, Walking Dead all the time, you know. Especially now.
Oh, there was something.
If it's an anime, can't
Oh, Dr. Stone.
Oh.
Yeah, the Dr. Stone anime. I'm excited for that one.
Mm-hmm. There might be a new Better Call Saul season this year, but can't be sure.
Yeah.
Probably later on, but like that type of stuff.
Again, I think we'll have to prepare next time for these.
Yeah, for sure.
For some of these, we have to come prepared. So I think that's a change we'll make for this year.
Yes, we will.
We will.
Cool. I like these questions.
Tanner, if you were forced to choose a Western video game character for Smash, who would you choose? I will not pick one of the two that we previously discussed in our spoiler discussion. So,
Smash discussion.
Smash discussion. That's what I mean. A Western character that I'd have to pick. Jeez! I'm just going to type in Western game characters Smash. It's so tough because, like, I think of Smash and I think of Japan. Oh, Banjo.
That's easy.
That's it. Okay, that's an easy one. I don't want Crash or Spyro. I don't think they deserve to be in. That's literally the cast of Jump. Why is that there? Why none of these are Western?
Because you typed in Smash Bros.
Yeah, because
just get rid of Smash.
Okay, Western game characters. I'm gonna get cowboys. I hate this. I didn't mean that for the West. American game characters. I don't know.
Is there any Western video game character?
See, but I don't play those games, so I don't know.
It goes straight to like Patriotic.
Yeah, like it's tough. Okay, I don't want a Mortal Kombat character.
No.
I don't think that works at all.
No.
I don't really like Lara Croft either. She's not Nintendo to me almost at all.
Prince of Persia character?
I wouldn't mind the Prince of Persia, but I wouldn't want it. You know what? I was actually talking about this, and this is going to be super controversial. I think Tracer would be kind of cool in Smash. A character who's based around this, like, a short-term warp. They actually put that into Slap City. They put in a character who only has one special move, and it's that he warps a small distance, and it's on a recharge like Overwatch. And there's some interesting stuff with that, so I wouldn't mind Tracer. I think she would fit in a really cool way.
Yeah.
Like, and that says someone who doesn't even love Overwatch, but I think she'd be kind of cool.
It's has a possibility.
Yeah. Well, no, it doesn't. How
Overwatch
so?
comes to Switch.
It never will.
Blizzard and Nintendo have
Please, Blizzard's barely going to be alive for 2 more years. Like, let's look at this. Let's look at this seriously. Okay, your turn.
Eastern video game character.
For you. See, that's easier. Because you can look at this and I have all the Eastern video game stuff.
I don't actually have a JoJo character there. I'm not. Well,
Oh, yeah,
it's obvious. A Monster Hunter character.
Oh, yeah, of course, right? Yeah.
Like, I love that.
It'd be
Just the
great.
stage.
I think it'd be, I think it would work out really well. I wouldn't even mind that being DLC even with Rathalos in the game. Like 100%.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Do you think... Sorry, we're just like intermittent here. Do you think there's going to be a second DLC Fighters Pass? Because you brought up the fact that there's 30
there's the
spaces.
30 character slots. I think there maybe won't be another fighter pass, but I don't think it'll be the end of Smash support after it. Because why would they stop when it's already sold? So it came out December, right? And it's
been a month.
Amazon's top selling game of 2018.
That's insane.
It was 1 month. Not even a full month. And I think there will be.
Nintendo would be stupid.
Well, and they did say in a thing that they want to support games for their whole Switch life. So, yeah.
Cool.
Those are my questions. I hope the year is good to you both, and hope you two have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next one and last question is from Mauricio. Hey guys, we made it 2019, aka where the first 3 months is a wallet killer for video games. Yep, we talked about that. He brings up a new Steins Gate game, Sekiro. Also, Tanner, the awesome video game player and Smash player, is having a hard time with DMC3 instead on easy. No, it's that game's tough, and I don't have the time to commit to it. I think that's what it is. Like, it's one of those games that you can either, you need to learn to play, and I don't have that time anymore. So my questions. Number 1, the DMC series is infamous for having quotes that you rarely forget, like "flock off, Featherface," that got brought back into Bayonetta because it was so good. Because Kamiya made DMC 1, so a lot of the DMC 1 stuff came back. Or "This party's getting crazy," or "I need more power in 3." What are some video game quotes that you guys remember, and why do you remember them for so long?
We need to read these before,
I hate this. Video game quotes. I mean, like, anything in Smash Bros. Becomes a quote immediately.
It does.
Like, anything you hear, like, "hands off my bread." Or, "you're too slow." Like, come on. Like, everything in Smash. Anything in fighting games. Because those get said a lot.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Things in fighting games get said a lot, even if you don't hear them, maybe 100%. But, Akuma's "die 1,000 deaths," like that. That's a.
I mean, recently I've loved the quote, "Die monster, you don't belong in this
die
world."
monster, you don't belong in this world. Yeah, like, that whole thing is super, "I was not brought back by my hand." It's like, like that whole thing's great.
Just one off the top of your head.
Off the top of my head.
Can't even do that.
No, I can't. I hate this.
Is there like a Skullgirls quote?
Not okay. I mean, the gorilla of fate is yearning.
Okay.
Because in Blaze Blue, Blaz Blue, that's how it's pronounced. The announcer, when the match starts, says "the wheel of fate is yearning," but if you pick a character who barely pronounces English words right, it sounds like the gorilla of Fate is Yearning. So they put it in Skullgirls as the gorilla of Fate is Yearning. Yeah.
Cool. Again, we'll read these before.
Our new thing is we got to read these beforehand because it's tough to come up with all these ones off the top of our heads.
Waste time on the podcast and all that. Once again, I'm bringing up DMC.
Are there games that before a boss theme occurs, the music in the cutscene builds up to the boss theme so fluid that you didn't notice? Oh yeah, that's a really good thing. I love when you go into a boss fight and the music's already playing. Like it starts in the cutscene before and then goes into it.
The boss in Metal Gear Solid 3.
Right? Yeah. Like most RPG builds up are silent cutscene, which is dialogue, and the boss theme starts playing suddenly. That's not a big thing nowadays. It actually had to be a thing back in the day because you couldn't load up the music and then do a scene change into the battle. But nowadays you can very easily do that because the music is an entirely separate track, right?
Well, like even my favorite final boss of all time, Ganondorf in Twilight Princess, when it's like this, he puts up the gates, and when he swings down the sword, getting ready to fight, it does the drums.
Yep.
And then you start, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot that go really well with that. A lot of modern. That's not a thing in modern games though, because again, you can do it separately, so you can do that a lot better. I'm just trying to think here. Again, we'll have to figure this out next time when we start to pre-screen these questions because I got to think about them.
For sure.
Lastly, are there games you play that you're able to get into with ease because it reminds you of a similar game? Because I know I bring up Fury a lot, but its dodge mechanic is literally Dante's Trickster from 3, which is why I was good at the game. So games that you were able to get into because they're similar to others.
That's a thoughtful question.
I could almost say like Final Fantasy 15 is kind of similar to Kingdom Hearts in its combat. So there was a bit of basis there with like how you kind of move, except the whole thing with the dodging is different, but the moving feels kind of similar.
I guess Persona 5's like turn-based stuff aided me with Octopath a bit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, once you get into your first turn-based game, then they all kind of work together there.
Yeah.
I mean, every fighting game, once you get into one fighting game, that skill transfers over to all of them. Mm-hmm. So that'd be another one.
I'm answering these questions more easier than you.
Like any sort of indie game based off of like that's a spiritual successor.
Like a Metroidvania or something.
Well, like not even Metroidvanias, but like Freedom Planet, like like for Sonic, right? Or for Bloodstained for Symphony of the Night, right? Like having that basis going in makes it a lot more fun because you play it and you're like, this is made by someone who feels it and they know it, so then you feel it as well and enjoy it. So yeah,
cool.
Hope that makes my questions easy. Sorry, I'm not good at thinking off the top of my head. So next time we'll make sure to fix it for that.
For sure.
So, and P.S. I hope one day, Adrian, you get to either play DMC3 or a full Kingdom Hearts game because you are missing a lot.
One day.
Those are games that you have to commit to.
Oh yeah.
For DMC for combat and Kingdom Hearts for length and the wild ride. So, yeah.
Cool.
Alrighty. Well, that about does it for this podcast.
Episode 15.
Episode 15, yes. We are rounding out the end here of our first year. Really. If we count episode. Yeah, year. But I mean, it is our first year podcasting.
Yes.
So hopefully we continue on for a decent while.
Second year we get bigger. Maybe we can get a few guests this time.
It's definitely, I've been thinking about it. I do have kind of the setup for it ready.
Oh, do you?
Where I would get, because I got a Y splitter for headphones, so then we would Y split the audio, and we'd both get headphones, then we'd be able to hear them, and I have it to work out, but it would just be a situation of I'd need them to record their audio, and so we'll see. It's an idea.
We'll definitely work on it.
We'll work on it. I will probably do a test on my own with it to make sure that it works, but one thing I could do is I could record with OBS, and then because OBS can do multiple audio streams, one for the speakers and one for the microphone, so that way I can kind of split it. So I have some ideas, but we will see you all. Look forward to some more new segments in the future. Yeah, we'll see for sure. But yes, we'll see you all later, and have a good 2019. You didn't say the foreign exchanges for this week. What? Like at the end of the podcast, you always say it. Oh, yes. Right. Next week. Such an amateur. Sorry. Digimon Cross BioShock 1. Yes. So we'll see how that goes and what what sort of opinions we have.
What horrors await.
Yes, for sure. So we'll see you all next time, guys. Ciao.
Bye.
The stand there. 24 before my love, I'll be there.